Well, what's mad? We were chatting, and you're saying that you're up at 5 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
That's mad.
What time do you sleep?
At least by 11.
11 and you know,
Well,
fair
6
enough.
hours.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair
That's
enough.
crazy.
5 a.m. every day is.
Why 5 a.m. every day though?
Yeah, bro, to maximize, man.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, just to maximize the
Do you
day.
do the thing when you wake up and you jump in like an ice bath? You know, like that.
Nah, not them brothers. Not them. That one is too.
You know that's normally the next thing that people say when they start saying they wake up at 4 a.m. and these
People
things.
do that to do, but for me, it's much more about just guaranteed quiet time.
Okay.
feel you.
So you see, like that time from 5 a.m. is just sacred for me to get the things that I want to get done. So it's like, what are the Kenny things I want to do before it hits 8 o'clock? Then I got 3 hours to do that. Right, that's quiet time, praying.
Okay.
Then go to the gym. Then also the spa, reading the spa.
Try the spa every day. You do the spa every day?
Almost every day, yeah.
Trust me.
No, I feel you, bro. Well-being,
Bro, well-being, bro. You have to
Yeah, bro. I feel you.
I think there's more times. The reason why people don't do it, they're not paid enough. You see, if you pay enough, find yourself
No,
there.
it's true. I do hear it.
Because you said David Lloyd.
Say no more.
I hear it still.
I just told you my local gym, bro.
That makes sense for structure. Though, innit? Like, I've been saying even that's why I ask you when you go to sleep, innit? Because even going to sleep at a certain amount, like a certain time, it just allows you to wake up and feel refreshed, innit? That way you can actually attack the day properly the next day. Innit? Me, right now, bro, I can't lie to you. Fam, I got home like 3 a.m. yesterday, and what time was I up today? I was up today maybe like 8 o'clock or something like that. But that's kind of like a thing. You know what I mean? I'll go sleep bare late. I'll wake up like obviously.
You say you got home at 3.
I got home at 3 still.
Yeah, but that's not normal, though, isn't it? That's
not getting home at 3 ain't normal, but
Sleeping at 3 is
late.
normal for him.
sleeping late. Yeah, no, dude, you have to just be disciplined. So for me, from 11 is like, cool, by this point, I need to actually be in bed. So sometimes, because the time you go to bed, you then need to give yourself an hour.
Yeah.
To unwind. 12 to 5. But again, it's just the accountability. Because again, I got someone else who I do prayers with, one of my close friends, Monday, Thursday, 5:30.
Okay.
Can't miss that.
Yeah.
My missus again. Again, there's that accountability that you need to be up in the morning. I think I'm saying to I was just like, you just have to sometimes push yourself. You don't really know what you can do. And people think, is it because you're a morning person? It's not about morning person.
I'm just have to do.
Just gotta do what I gotta do. It's not that I wake up every morning and I'm beaming.
It's
just
some mornings it's tough, innit?
That's it.
It's good though. I'm happy you said that I'm not a morning person, cause that's not me the excuse.
The excuse,
because I'm not a morning person, let me run it. And sometimes you just gotta do it.
Yeah, you just gotta have a strong enough wire. That's it. It's not like I grew up just waking up at 5. Over the years, you just get used to that. This is what I gotta do. And also when you feel like you wanna genuinely kill it in a particular game or do whatever, it's compounding. So I always try to get brothers to do the math. So if everyone wakes up at 7:30, whatever. You have that 2 hours in a week, right? So again, essentially, you're getting at least 10 hours extra time for yourself a week. Now you compound that over a month. That's 40 hours, bro. And then you just do that over the year. Before you know it, bro, you're getting like almost, by the time we get to November, I already done what I need to do for the year.
How long have you been doing it?
Years, bro.
Oh, so
yeah.
Was it something that was like initiated by someone? It was a thing where you just like, nah.
You see, when I just started getting serious about, what I need to do in my life, be intentional. Like, if I talked to my friend the other day, I even did one mad challenge one time. It was like 90 days, like no TV, no nothing. See, like I just sometimes just do things where it's like, look, let me just see what is possible.
Man.
I just push myself, like everything.
I feel you. I'm on that as well, you know. I'm on that as well, fam. There's bare different. But the thing is, my only thing is like, the challenges thing, I feel like if I do it for 90 days, why can't I do it for the rest of my life? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, I wouldn't do the necessary, but that's the reason why I might not do the one where it's like, no TV, like 90 days. Because my thing is, whatever I do as a challenge, I should be able to do for a sustained period of time, innit? Like more, like as in like it's part of my life. Otherwise, so basically, I'm actually acting like suboptimal when I'm not doing it. If you get what I'm trying to say, as in like, because I can do the thing where I do no carbs, So if I just start eating carbs for the rest of my life, bare and all that kind of stuff, then I'm actually behaving in a suboptimal way. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like I should be doing more basically, because I can. Do you get?
But even the carbs and food thing is good. Like, so let's say I had like 5 years of my life, like every Monday, no meat. Force myself. So then now I just have a way more balanced diet. So now I don't stick to that every Monday. But now because I've done it for so long, I just think like it's not everyday chicken.
Exactly.
Every day something like diversify. But I had to just force on myself. And also with the 90 days, some of it's to do with understanding how much time you actually have. A lot of people feel like they don't have time, but all the time I'm like, let me just go on your phone. Let's look at the hours spent.
Yeah.
Trust me, I can show you.
You do that best.
You do that best.
Yeah.
Pull up.
I
Show me your screen time.
pull it up now.
I pull it up still. Let's
go now.
Let's
Let's go bar for bar, bro.
This week's been bad, fam.
Go band for band. Let's go band for band.
You be doing
But it's all progression.
You be fasting, it should be good. The Bible actually be high.
Hey, but I got physical Bible now, innit? Last year my Bible minutes were higher still.
Alright, cool. So what's your daily average?
Hold on.
So
So
my
daily
daily
average.
average, yeah. When you first click on screen time, yeah, everyone's got iPhone, yeah. So
Yeah.
you know when it goes to
Not
Android.
daily,
You have to be.
Alright,
Fair
cool.
stats.
Mine's probably gonna be the lowest, innit? So daily average is 4 hours and 46 minutes.
And I'm on my phone, boy. Work all the time. 13 hours, 17 minutes.
Oh, it's 8 hours. 8 hours, 9 minutes.
Hey.
What's yours? 24 hours.
Yeah, he's mad.
He's on back.
Because
Mine
was
what's
high.
going on?
Is
No,
it
this don't make sense.
23
bro.
hours.
Bro, just
just say the number, bro.
So this is down 47% from last week.
Don't say what it is.
No,
Yeah, bro.
it's showing.
Just say
Let's say what the number is.
Did you get it?
It's 17, 28.
How can it be down 47% though?
No, this don't make sense. Because why?
How
does
can it be
YouTube
down
say
47%?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This don't make sense.
No, it can be. I'll
No, it
work
can
it out
be
now.
done, yeah.
Yeah, can't because
It can because there's still
No,
more time
that's
of the
week.
day.
Okay.
Just means
What's
that
the
you
week?
did the math.
Okay, you
Oh, yeah,
said
no,
week.
I done the week, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you done
Oh,
the
done
week?
the week.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
the
the
day-
day-
no,
my day
daily
is 2
average.
hours, 30 minutes.
Okay,
Okay.
say no more.
Okay.
Cool. My day is 3 hours 51.
So
Okay,
happy.
okay.
So happy.
bro.
Damn, what's yours?
That was 8 hours.
Say no
That
more.
was 8 hours.
What?
Cool.
Yours 8 hours.
Daily.
Damn, mine's 4 hours and 46 minutes. But obviously, I've been doing better than that, fam.
Why
Yeah,
is
stuff
this
going
the
on.
caveat thing down, fam?
No, I'm saying best stuff been going on, innit?
Mm.
Alright, cool. Let's go
Oh, no,
into it.
that's
Yeah.
that. Sorry, hold on. No, this is my. It's my daily average, but it's on my week. Hold on. What did you do the day to?
Click on day.
Are
It
you,
says
are you
week
saying
and
the
then day.
first? You know, when you first open screen time, and you talking about the first thing you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm talking about, yeah, you lot saying the wrong thing then. So I'm talking about when you first go on screen time, yeah, the first thing that comes up.
The first one that comes up.
Yeah,
Oh,
this.
this.
Yeah, so
Yeah. So what's
Yeah,
that?
so that
that's
is-
what I'm
that
talking
is
your
about.
thing.
that's what
Yeah,
we're talking
that's-
about. So mine's for
Exactly.
Say that.
Exactly.
You're
Mine-
talking about for today.
That's what I'm
The fact you're already at 8 hours today is
No,
questionable.
it's not 8 hours today. This is just the daily average. So
Alright.
daily average is 8 hours. I can't. You're not trying to
I don't
confine,
even
man.
know what this really actually. This is saying over the last week, yeah, your
This don't
daily
make sense.
average has been 4 hours and 46 minutes. That's what it's saying. So your daily average over the last week has been 8 hours. Yours has been 17 hours, which
Yeah,
is
mine's
insane.
13.
doesn't
yeah.
make
And yours
Yeah.
is 13.
Yeah, exactly. So I got like 8 hours and 26
But
minutes.
wait,
on
when I
Zoom.
Bro,
scroll, when I scroll
17
down,
hours,
though,
bro. That's
it's-
like.
Yeah, but you have to look at
That's
what you're
like
doing.
When I
you wake
scroll
up-
down, yeah, it says Netflix.
Alright, bro.
No, wait.
I'm telling you about. That's what I'm telling you about.
No,
These are the
listen,
guys.
brother,
They tell you
I'm
can't
telling
get
you.
stuff done.
I can't even
Netflix.
tell you. I can't tell you the last time I opened the Netflix app on my phone.
How does it
That's
say
not
though?
true.
How does it say?
So how
for
did-
Netflix?
yeah.
But that's is
So
literally
the
And
not
fuck-
true.
How
YouTube
does
is
it say
number
though?
one there.
It's-
YouTube
Netflix
is number
is
one.
24
Why
hours.
are you going to Netflix?
Man's
when
better
YouTube
day
is
of
number
your
one?
life.
That doesn't make sense, bro. It don't make sense. And YouTube says 31:18.
No,
This is
that is
full, bro.
crazy.
Bro,
That don't make sense.
That's
That is
crazy.
crazy.
Hey, bro, I've
Still,
never met a
I
man.
like-
Safari 22. That's not true. This ain't true still. It's actually not true.
From your waking moment,
Hey,
bro.
bro, what you gotta do? You gotta open it. Let's click on it. So let's get the
Alright,
real.
cool.
Just click on that top one, then you understand on the
Well,
day.
click on what? YouTube.
No, Netflix, because you
Like,
understand.
you say
it better.
YouTube is first.
Oh,
YouTube is
YouTube's
31
first.
hours 18. Does that even make sense?
Yeah, it does. Because
How
it
is
does.
that possible?
now
fam?
open it and then see it across the days.
Exactly.
So what? So you know, after you got on daily average, did you go to see all?
Yeah,
Activity.
see all
5
yeah.
hours
yeah.
13. I'm not even on my. It don't make sense.
It does.
This isn't true. It's not true.
Bro, have you listened to a podcast on YouTube?
No,
yeah, and
not
put
on
in your
my phone.
headphone?
Not on my phone. Literally not on my phone. I can't even do that. What am I gonna do?
So,
Put it in my
someone
pocket?
else been using your phone or what?
This is fake, bro.
Nah, bro.
It's a reset, my
That's the
This ain't
reality.
real, bro.
I've never met a man most use
It's not real, bro.
Netflix. Maybe like some.
What do I
some-
even watch
some
on
Gen
Netflix,
Z.
bro? What do I even be watching?
I don't even know
What
what's
are
on
you
Netflix.
watching?
Gen Z. That's
I don't
I
even
think
know
it's
what's
even on
Netflix.
cloud. It's not even there. The app
Bro.
isn't even there,
So it
bro.
might be other devices.
Nah.
know.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
stuff. I don't know how it's
I
worked
don't know
out.
how
Yeah,
you-
you
To be honest with you, I don't
you
know,
got
but-
But
But
God
to be
knows my
fair,
heart,
to be
God knows
fair,
what's going on.
what's kind of crazy? We've been doing no takeout in it.
Yeah.
From before, yeah. So I haven't really started doing takeout before, whatever, or bear or whatever. But yesterday I ordered takeout in it for like the first time in time,
Yeah.
and it's saying I spent 42 minutes on Deliveroo.
Exactly.
That is
Exactly.
rubbish.
Yeah.
That's not
But
true.
remember I saying
But yeah, it's like I was on and off,
Yeah,
and
on and
I'm in
off.
an hour for time,
But not for 42 minutes.
but I wasn't on the app for 42 minutes.
Yeah, but I reckon.
But if I
yeah,
kept on going
but
back,
it's probably collating from when you first went on, and I guess there will be some kind of metric to say
I keep on going back.
you
to
keep
it.
going back to it,
So
and
what-
in that
so
keep
it's an
going back
active
to
use.
it is an active
Probably
use.
active, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to like, oh, I was on it for 1 minute, I stopped. Like,
So you're
probably
saying
just
that you
keeps
haven't
counting.
touched Netflix this week
I
at
haven't
all?
touched Netflix this year, or like in the last 2 years or something, like on my phone. On my phone.
So what about on your? Do you have an iPad?
I don't watch. No, I ain't got an iPad.
So where you watching
What
Netflix?
about
I don't
Mac?
watch Netflix, bro.
What about your MacBook?
How many times have you lot spoken to me about shows, and how many times do I say I do not watch shows? I
I
just watch
you actually
podcasts.
you actually talk like you know what shows do.
I swear.
I want that.
This ain't real still.
I have to get to the bottom of this still.
We'll
This ain't real, fam.
No, then we'll send
I
them.
just- I just
Send them
speak
an
to
email.
Apple.
Yeah, I said
I
it
speak to Apple
still.
That is
Work, fam.
jokes.
What's so mad is that, remember I kept saying, even last time we checked this, my Google Maps is 3 hours.
Yeah.
So that's part of it, like 3 hours. But I hear that though.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
That's obviously
yeah.
get in the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
'Cause I got calendar for 4 hours, 15 minutes.
How?
Calendar for 4 hours and 15
How
minutes.
though?
Yeah, you're booked and
You're
busy,
booked and busy,
bro.
bruv. Appointments.
Chai.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
bad stuff. I'm just looking there. Yeah, WhatsApp, I'm not surprised. 12 hours.
Oh, so that's 4 hours and 35
Yeah, my
minutes.
WhatsApp's
WhatsApp.
4
I can't lie.
hours.
What's
Crazy.
disappointing is my Instagram's like 8 hours and 46 minutes. I don't know how that worked.
You don't even go on Instagram, do you?
No, not like that still.
I-
No. But I have been. I know. I'm saying it's disappointing from a fact where I've been on it and where I've still got them. You know, I've still got the lock, so I can't go on social apps for more than an hour.
Yeah,
Innit?
yeah.
I've been extending
Ignoring
it.
it.
I've been extending it. So that's poor from my side.
I got Slack.
Yeah, so
for
my
12
Instagram
30.
daily average is like 30 minutes.
Oh, fairs.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And that's
What do you
just,
use Instagram for? Scrolling off.
post, see what people are doing, gone.
Yeah. In and out. I hear it still.
Can't spend
Pause.
too much time on.
I can hear it.
But no, I hear it.
Hey.
What's mad? Yeah, I got bare times on the New York Times games.
Oh yeah.
So you know, like
some of them are
Wordle.
addictive still.
Wordle. There's a crossword, and then there's something called connections. Have you not played it
I
before?
play Connections.
what's
still.
Connections?
So
Connections is
is
decent. still.
there's 16 words, and there's a group of 4 each that connect to each other somehow. So you have to try and think what words connect to each other.
Mm.
So I do that. I basically do that every morning. Like, and the mini crossword, I do that every morning.
I remember there was a point when I was going to school here and I was
That's
actually
consistent.
slapping
Yeah.
brain teasers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But do you know what it is? I don't know if I've done it consistently enough to ever say that it really had a mad positive effect in terms of like, because you know, brain teasers, the whole point is to start like getting you
Stimulating.
thinking.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? And help you with problem solving during the day and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But I don't know if I ever done it.
Yeah, I don't.
How long were you doing it
enough.
for though?
There was a point where like one of my favorite games was like Lumin something or something like that, Lumix or something like that. And it was all about brain teaser games, innit? Sort of thing, innit? I just used to slap it. Like I went up bare levels. You know when you got like 100 levels? I'm playing it more than Candy Crush and them things when that was
Yeah,
about,
that was
you
the
get. So
Yeah, I don't know how much it helps. I just kind of enjoy it
How long do you play it for? How long have you been doing that for?
every day. Yeah, probably for the past like. Obviously, sometimes I miss it. I mean, it's not that every, but probably like 2 years.
swear, 2 years.
Like 2 years
Crazy.
still. Yeah. Shout out
Do you
Denzel.
feel smarter, wiser?
Do you know what it is? I'm not sure if I feel smarter, but I get there much quicker. Do you know what I mean? So
What
when
do you
it's
mean?
so
As in
when,
less
when
brain fog, basically.
yeah, like I can work out how these words connected quite quickly. Do you know what I mean? So that happens.
No, not necessarily the game. I'm talking about
That's what
how
I'm saying.
you are.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't feel like I'm not sure if there's been any material impact.
So there's less buffering. Like you know when you get a thought, sometimes you're like.
I don't know. You know, I just haven't been monitoring. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of the game, you get things quicker. Do you know what I mean? Even words that you learned, I didn't know what they were.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking, man, what is this word?
Do you use the words though? Do you know what's so
Sometimes
funny?
it's funny
No.
to use the word
You know
because
what I
people don't understand it.
Yeah.
So if you
no.
know like a peak word, you're saying it in a sentence.
Yeah.
You don't understand what you're saying. Do you get what I mean? So it's good to obviously know the word,
Yeah.
but you're not really going to use it per se. Because
It's funny because what we're talking about, code switching.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
We know code switching sometimes, you switch it up. And obviously you want to speak languages that the people around you understand. Otherwise, your communication is
there's no
useless. You're
point.
not communicating well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, sometimes you gotta elevate people around you as well. Innit? So even if they don't know it, it's like, all right, this is what it means. You get me?
Like platitude.
Yeah, like this is what it means.
Will
Like,
they use it though?
you know, sometimes not about using it, it's about understanding it.
But then will it be? It
But
depends on
then
the
it's-
stuff what you're talking about. though,
True
innit? Like,
understanding is using it. It's all slightly for
Yeah.
words. For when you're doing like word of the day and all that.
Yeah, I hear
'cause
you,
I guess
man.
you know the word now. It's like
I hear you,
It's
but
almost
it's
like the Bible as well. You know when you talk about like word of the day, Bible wise.
yeah.
It's like without application, like do you truly understand? Because as in, do you not truly understand? But wisdom is the application of it, innit? Do you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So the end point is to apply it to whatever we're doing. Do you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But your application could be an understanding though. So if I've said a word that you've never heard of before, and you're like, what does that mean? I tell you, it means this now.
You demonstrate understanding.
You're like, all right, cool, this is what it means. If you're watching something on YouTube and someone is speaking and they use that word, you're like, oh, I get the sentence.
But then that's just
acquiring.
Yeah, I hear it. It's acquiring knowledge then. Versus wisdom.
Yeah. But it's useful, man. It's useful.
No, I hear it. It's
useful. But the code switch, I was telling you, man, at work, I don't code switch. Do you know what I mean? At work, the way I speak now is the way I speak. That day, at one of my old workplaces, they used to make a joke. And they used to be like, because to end the sentence, I'd be like, all right, cool. All right, cool. It's just something to end the sentence. But
even that, the small code switching in that though. Can you tell?
All right, cool.
It's a kill.
Because if it was a man, then we'd be like, all right, cool. All right, say no more.
But to be fair though, I'm not.
There is a level though to which you code switch. But then there's like,
but you know what it is though?
It's like
the reason I work with code switching, I think for me, is clarity. That's what I'm trying to achieve there.
Yeah.
With the man there.
Saying, all right, cool, or saying cool. Like, there's not much difference in clarity.
Trust me, there actually is.
I know what you mean though. But
it's more so when you're doing it, because you're not focusing on that word. You're focusing on your speech, carrying your speech, innit? So there's words that you're just not going to say the way you would say with your brethren.
Yeah, but the way that you're talking to us now, that's not necessarily how you speak at work.
It is. The way I speak now.
Yeah.
There will be a slight change.
Obviously,
but like, there's like certain times there's an unconscious kind of like, because you're speaking to different people.
Yeah.
There's an unconscious, but there's not like, there's like a scale in it.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not going to start saying, bro, I sound like how I sound when I speak to anybody, when I do anything. Intentionally.
You're different though.
Intentionally though.
You see, your thing's different.
Intentionally.
There was one time it was on work call, us man were about, bro. You see how you're talking now, It was even worse than this. Like, it was even more like, bro, like, someone called him, like, they were asking him for something, whatever it is. He's like, like, you checked on the... He's like, you checked on the, like, on the SharePoint, like. And I was like, huh?
Just that you have relationships with people.
I thought you were speaking to somebody, his family or something like that. I was thinking, yo, who's that?
You know you have relationships with people where it's like, this is man's relationship with you. So we can talk like that. It don't matter who it was. It was my manager. But we're like...
So your manager said, fam, go check on SharePoint.
Bro, it's bad.
I did not say fam,
what did you say?
check on SharePoint.
What did you say then?
Have you checked it? Have you checked your email?
Yeah.
No, you didn't say it like that though.
However I said it, I'm not here to defend. I don't.
Yeah, it was funny.
I'm not here to defend the way I said it. I don't care how I said it. Yeah. But my thing is like, however I speak is how you speak
at work.
Obviously, there's differences in terms of like, if you're speaking to somebody, let's say, for example, older than you, someone who is from a different culture than you, they don't get certain things.
Yeah.
But you will never hear me and be like, you lot won't hear me and laugh.
I'd be like, yeah. We won't still.
Yeah, you lot will definitely hear me.
Yeah,
and laugh.
Bro, and I've laughed.
And be like, why am I talking?
I've laughed many times.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I'm like, how you doing? You alright?
I remember one time, I was doing a couple of years ago. I weren't working, so I've gone to work. I just gone to take my laptop, apply for jobs at his house, isn't it? But he's working. He's on calls, bro. It is so funny. Like, I can't explain how funny it is,
bro. Listen,
like the change of
I can't lie to you. Like,
it's actually jokes.
So it is. I'm just very much like conscious of the fact that a lot of people aren't from the same background as me, sort of thing, innit? So even when I say certain things, I've been in a situation where I've tried not to code switch, and there was a meeting where I was like, I remember this is the biggest turning point for me, Like there was a meeting I was in, and I was like, I said something like, I clocked. So they were talking about error or whatever it is, in some work here, and I was like, do you know what? I clocked that. Boom, 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 and the person I was working with was younger, so he understood what I was saying, innit? And he was like, he's obviously not from where we're from, innit? But he was like, you clocked it, like, and I was like, I'm not having that. I'm not having that again. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So since then, it was just like, I realised, do you get what I'm trying to say? And I started using those kind of words and then speaking in a way that they understand more. Or, to be honest with you, I'll be real. I yearn, to get to a position, or get to a place, or be in a place, where I feel that sense of belonging, where I can speak how I normally speak. As long as it doesn't impede, like, the correct information getting across and all that kind of stuff, I want to be in that place, bro. But if I'm being real, like, the reality of the situation is, if you speak slang or whatever it is, bro, people will naturally...
My thing is, I'm trying to say, and about speaking slang, though.
Not necessarily slang, but
slang
even
like,
speaking with...
say, if I'm talking to my mum, like, I'm going to speak... I'm not
proper English,
I'm not going to speak slang, but it's like, this is me.
Yeah.
So I sound the way I sound. Even me, for example, like, like when certain people do a certain type of code switching, I kind of switch off.
Yeah.
I think you're pretending.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because I know, say if I know you, let's say like there's like there is a way that pastors preach.
Yeah.
There is a way that motivational speakers speak.
Yeah.
And when you're doing that,
it's
like you've put on the hat. So that now me watching it is like,
You're gonna switch off.
Like you're kind of like you're doing the I'm
I
being
do
the
hear it,
pastor
man.
or I'm being
But
I'm being a da.
all
For
of that
me,
stuff
I
has been
kinda-
studied, though, isn't it? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So people study tonation like, and all that kind of stuff
Yeah,
when
no,
you
they
talk
do,
because
they
of the
do,
fact
yeah,
that you can't. And then what happens is someone might come new into that motivational speaking space, yeah. They might have had like a bad experience at first and they're like, "Ah, cool, do you know what? Until I learn my own cadence and how I want to say things and all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna not fake it till I make it, but I'm gonna take something
certain
from
mode.
someone from what other people was done
No, I
that's
do
been
hear it.
successful, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I do hear it still, but for me, it's always a thing because I know that you're doing the insert blank thing.
Do you feel like you got code switch?
Nah, not really. But also, I think what you mentioned about like work, I guess because in our company, I'm a co-founder, man, director. So actually,
you
for
said
me,
the
it's
culture.
actually I just speak how I speak. However, a big part of it is also getting people to understand, like, speak professional. So I'm less worried about how you sound, but did you communicate that in a professional way?
Yeah.
So I can
understand
you. That's it, and that's the key thing. And part of it is because I don't like the whole, what's the word to use, like bigotry of people because of how they sound. And then maybe you might feel like, oh, this person, I mean, where they're raised well, they can't enunciate certain words.
This is it.
And that's it. All these things, people do look down on you based on, because it'd be like, if I'm in a meeting, I say, yeah, I clocked that. I can't. Someone said that in a client meeting, I think, are you stupid?
Yeah, exactly.
You say, I clocked that. Do you think that, like, if we're just having a meeting amongst ourselves, we use that. But then even in our team, our company, there are people that don't understand that type of language.
Exactly.
So again, you need to say that in a space where you understand the people around you understand that. Because if someone, because let's say I got a group chat for a project, someone in my team, like, even the other day were like, yeah, this eats. like they know.
Hey, the Gen Z lot are coming through, bro. They're coming through.
So I was laughing.
Droves, fam.
But at the same time, that's fine in this context. You get what that means. But I know that same person is never going to say that if a client shares them content. And so again, as long as you know how to, in particular environments, how to switch it up is cool. But the sound, the only time I worry about sound is I might be clear.
Yeah, of course.
And that's it. 'Cause I feel like that pressure is just too much. But then also like even the point you mentioned earlier about some people switching. Sometimes people are not switching. That's just actually how they speak. And we also have to be mindful.
Everyone's got a telephone voice, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, when you pick up your phone, like, if it was a number you didn't know, you're not going to pick it up and just be like, hello, like, what are you saying? Do you get what I mean? Like, you're going to be like, hello? Like, who's that? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
And that's and I think that's even a gift. Like, my co-founder, for example, like, early days, he always picks up the phone. Like, he just got that, the BBC voice. On Smash, I can't do it. But all the time without a phone. If he answers that phone, that sounds inviting, pleasant. Like, this person wants to talk to you today.
Exactly.
No matter the situation, I can't do that.
It's fun. That's like one of our friends works at a car company. So there was a day I called up, randomly. I called the branch near my house that he don't normally work at. And I called them up and I said, hello, like, I want to get like a car quickly. So that, all right. So so what's your name? And I was like, hold on. Hey, is this? He was like, yeah. I said, it's Shea, man. We started laughing we're laughing for like a minute. And I was like, what are you doing there? He said, oh, bro, he said, I'll just come, man. Don't. But it's very funny because I didn't actually know it was him in the beginning.
I used to get that friend there, boy. What? I used to phone him and pretend to be like the area manager, innit? I'm like, I'll say his name, then I'll say the area manager's name. All right, how you doing, mate? You right? Do you know what I mean? All of that. And then afterwards, I'll start busting up. He'll do it with me. He's like, he start getting annoyed in that.
Yeah. But essentially, I hear it.
And do you think that those people think you're pretending? Like, do you think those people are looking at you like, okay, this person is pretending?
Someone was like to me one time, they were like, oh, like, where's like your accent from? It's not like a typical London accent. And I was like, do you know what? I was like, yeah, I spent a lot of time down south. That. Cause I actually got my telephone voice from my first telesales job.
Okay.
Where I was like selling like windows and doors, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I was looking at the man that was making the most sales and that. That's who I've learned from. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I'm copying him because I'm trying to smash sales as well, innit? So that's where I got my telephone voice from. And he was from Deep South. So as in of the UK, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I was like, all right, cool. So that's why I sound like that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? To a certain degree. But now I am trying to switch it up a bit, but it's like years of unlearning I need to do.
Do you know how you were saying you want to get to a point where you can just.
Yeah.
Do you not know anyone like that? Who you see them, they're high up and they're very like colloquial in the way that they speak. What are you saying? Okay.
Yeah, do you know, it's hard, isn't it? Because they have to be like that in the first place. Whereas some people, that's actually not them.
Yeah.
Speak professional. They can still be cool and relaxed, but that's just how they are. But so you'd be surprised though. You meet I think there are a lot of senior people who you may meet in a one-to-one setting and they're happy to be like that.
Yeah.
But in a group setting, everyone needs to know what time it is.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's actually fair. So people understand. Let's all use a language and a form of communication we can all understand.
Yeah.
So I don't actually. I think the burden sometimes people feel like I want to talk like this. What makes you think other people don't want to do the same?
Yeah.
No, so again, I'm less worried about that. It's more just speak proper English. Like, when I meet like younger people, they ask me like, "Oh, how do you talk?" Like I'm like, it's called talking proper English.
Exactly.
Like, that's it. Like just don't use words because people try to talk like they're texting.
It's crazy.
That one gets me going still.
Yeah.
The Gen Z. Nobody said Gen Z bear this thing. I'm not gonna start messaging.
You're gonna sound like uncle.
Uncle fam.
Honestly.
It's funny still. What obviously when I was in school, so obviously I went to school in Nunhead. So when I was in school,
why are you saying Nunhead like that?
Now what?
I went to school in Nunhead.
Nunhead.
Since you actually
As opposed
I went
to
to school in Nunhead.
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 I say Nunhead.
Nunhead. You gotta say Nunhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Easy.
Yeah, I'm going to Nunhead.
Yeah, Nunhead. Nunhead.
Well, I went to school there for 5 years, right? I went to school there for 5 years, right? So, you know, I think I'm
It
right.
sounded like a pub.
I think the Nunhead is a pub there as well. So it's always cool though. It's funny because we used to go to Cell Church around there as well. It was like prayer meeting around that side as well. But I remember that my earliest memories there. So in year 10, I done work experience in the House of Parliament. I worked in the parliamentary offices. And it's funny because I was working with, there was interns from America who had come to work there as well. So obviously, again, at that age, in year 10, how old are you? You're 14, 15. So the thought of code switching is not really in my mind too much.
Yeah.
I'm just going there. I'm like, oh, how's everyone? Like, everyone all right? And we're working. And then there was a day we were in the office. And I've said, okay, I'm about to go out. And I said, I'm going to go and grab something. I can't remember what it was. Was it a Milky Bar? It was basically something that they don't have in America. And then they were looking at me. And I was like, oh, is everyone all right? Kind of thing. They were like, what did you just say? And I was like, oh, I'm going to get, I can't remember what it was now though. But I was like, I'm going to get this or that. What's that? I was like, oh, let me show you. So I've gone to the laptop. These times I didn't have you didn't have instant on your phone, so you can't just show it. I had to go on the computer and be like, oh, it's this. So I was like, what? So I was like, all right, you wait, let's follow you to the shop. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, follow me to the shop and then we'll go and get it. So they want to see it. As we've left the parliamentary offices to go to the corner shop, I've seen two of my brethren, which is weird, by the way. I've been doing that work experience for like 2 weeks and I have not seen anyone I know. This time I've seen two of my brethren by the shop. And they're also, by the way, they're in my school and they're also meant to be doing work experience. So I don't know why they're there. I don't know why they're there. One of them tried to say they would do that, guys. They were gassing. I think their mum went there. Like, they were just there. Anyway, they were there. So like, oh, how are we saying that? The look on those people's faces, bro.
Especially back then.
Bro, they actually, one kind of looked terrified.
Yeah.
And the other one was like, oh, yeah, maybe we should get back. Kind of thinking, I was thinking, I can't explain the feeling, but I was like, not shame here, but I was like, why are you not doing this now? Not my brethren, just them. Like, why are you not doing this? Because I'm going back to the office now and I feel awkward.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I remember going back and trying to compensate.
Yeah.
And you know, a young boy compensation is so dumb.
Yeah.
I'll probably start talking about like, I don't know, but stuff that like tube stations.
Yeah.
Like just trying to like level.
That's kind of my thing with it though, is that they're looking at them, obviously they have a perception of them, innit?
Yeah.
And you're associated with them because they're your brethren from school, innit? So you lot need to know that people that you perceive as this can also be where you are. So you shouldn't be looking down on them because they are also in the same spaces as you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So even like at work, for example, you get to a certain position, you think certain people are in this position because of where they're from or whatever, and you perceive people that look like me to be lower or whatever. But no, we're in this position. We also are here as well, and we come from where you perceive to be lower. You see what I'm saying? You got that's kind of my thing about code switching to an extent where it's like you're kind of unrecognizable to those who are just like your peers kind of thing. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you.
I'm very much on, of course, communicate well. I'm not going to be speaking stupidly to people. You're going to communicate well in it. But yeah, like we're from where we're from. We look like how we look. But we're also here. We belong here as well as you lot. You know what I mean?
Randomly, have you lot worked with people from up north?
No, you know. Yeah, one role, yeah. Not everyone was up from up north, but a couple people.
I done when I was working my first grad job, there was a placement I was on and they were up north. They were from up north, my people still. The people from like proper up north, like the like Liverpools, like certain areas up north, Yorkshire, like there's a like social capital that we both understand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like about, and not to say that we're trauma bonding. Do you know what I mean? Because that's kind of what it sounds like. But they're also from areas that aren't well built up, well developed. Yeah. So there's an understanding we both have. When I say we got on, I just love working with them. Even when it comes to the way that they speak, obviously they're not speaking slang, but it's very like,
it's just laid back. Like there's less of the whole like jumpy up.
And also it's less coded. Like what they say is less coded.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're just like,
it's mad at how that is a sign of like kind of like classing. Maybe this is an old school way of thinking, but in terms of how coded you are, in terms of what you're saying, it's like almost like speaking in platitudes and speaking with.
And that's the point I was making before about like, that's why I think it's very important for everybody to learn to be articulate and understand that there's no colour or class to that. That's something that's within all our ability. Actually, what you said is the truth. It's like what you'd love the world to be like and what the world is. And if you can't hold yourself in particular rooms, like understanding that language is a form of artistry, right? So again, based on the language you can use, how you can use words, people can tell a lot. And that's just unfortunately the reality. Like, there's different ways of saying, like, I can just say, do you know what? Shay, you're being economical with the truth there. That's super coded. You know what I mean? Like, most people think, how did you come? But again, it's that's the type of
because that's the type of stuff they say. And the thing is, how
that's funny
do you
economical with the truth
without sounding like you saw the dictionary?
Unless you're clued up, you don't even understand how insulting that is. But it's just packaged in that way.
That's what I did still.
Yeah, exactly. No, honestly.
I did you that this week, bro.
People like, huh? Some people think it's even a compliment, but you know, what was I gonna say? So like for someone that's trying to like get better at articulating themselves, so what would you suggest? Like, what are tips that you lot would suggest? Like, because for example, someone might be like, oh, do you know, I need to study philosophy, because a lot of the time when these people are being mad articulate, that it just sounds philosophical. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But like, obviously, like some people do the stuff where they read dictionaries, but so what are you lot's tips anyway? Like,
I would say like read the news. So that's a habit that I've got daily, and I actually encourage everyone to read the news.
When you say read the news,
so as in like, well, when I say news, let me be very clear, because some people their news is just go on IG and whatever this page has said, this is the news. But for me, it's like BBC News, FT, The Economist. They actually pay to have access to read. Like, what are the key things that are going on in the world right now? Got people forget, actually, a lot of times, language is one thing. Every time I've met proper serious people, this could be billionaires, anything, actually, a lot of the conversation is based on world affairs. Now, if I'm having a conversation with you and you can't talk about what's going on big in the world this week, I can already see what kind of person you are without being rude. Because actually, you see if you're a true stakeholder in society, it's in your best interest to know what's going on. And so a lot of time when I meet they don't actually read the news, they think, they told me, it's all negative. I think I know where you're at.
That is hilarious.
That's the truth. Like, it's a shortcut to already tell me. I promise you, there's no one serious that is out there that does not read the news. I know the news could be negative, but at the same time, there's also positive news and different things going on. Proper, super interesting stuff going out there. You should be able to know what's going on. Like, if I ask people what the major events that's happened in the world this week, you have no clue. Then that means, and you also can't articulate, so you also can't give no perspective, because you haven't watched the news over an extended period of time to be able to see patterns, to see different stuff. And so again, that's why I think the news, because then you got to see words, and if you don't know what the word is, you just press the word and you see look up, then you see.
That look up function saved me plenty times.
A lot of times. So that's what I'm saying. Like reading the news has got multiple benefits.
Yeah.
No, I hear it still. I think there can definitely be a disparity when it comes to the people who are interested in a certain industry. So, for example, I'll be interested in any news that surrounds the stuff that is going on in, let's say, for example, data and AI or whatever it is, yeah. And I'll be clued up on what's going on there, but then I may not be clued up on like socio-economical issues in like emerging countries, for example, right? Or emerging economies or whatever it is. Obviously, that's not the actual case, but in them instances, you will still have some. Do you get what I'm trying to say? There will be like.
So one thing I should have said, like news daily. Like, so one thing is I do cheat code. Always read the front pages. I'm not gonna buy every single. I haven't got the time like that. At least whatever's on the front page. Across 8 of the big newspapers, you know this is what's really going on. Easy. Just browse. That's gonna take you 15 minutes. It doesn't matter. You don't know what's on page 215.
Yeah.
Do you challenge what you read?
Yeah, in the sense of outside of the newspaper stuff. So that's why the challenges was more paying for the news.
I hear it. The sign up.
Like you see, like in a world where so much of it is just on social media, everyone's actually a challenge and say, look, I'm actually going to pay for this, and then just read it. When I see interesting stuff, just people just learning to be curious, man.
Of course, this is it.
But again, I know it's deeper than the question of how you become more articulate, but that's it. Also, just watching people as well. Again, if you don't watch certain news, you don't hear how people just string a sentence. You're like, right, how did this person do that? And you're like, do you know what? But if you don't expose yourself to that, people are watching stuff. They're just not watching.
You got to watch PMQs and watch them squirm their way out.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yo, man.
Them PMQs one is bro.
Yeah, man,
that one
funny
is.
still.
Do you see the question?
That made me laugh at that.
You remember that a while ago? I think you lot saying on PMQs, and the question was like, I'm gonna find it. But it was a weird, like, I didn't even know they asked questions like that on PMQs basically. But it was something to do. It was interlinked with faith as well, innit? Which is what was started me in the first place. I'm gonna find it. But.
The PMQ thing is just hilarious. One time I'm watching it, obviously I'm interested, but it's also just very funny.
Yeah, so you like that.
Oh yeah, I found it. So it was like, remember like obviously a while back when Trump was re-elected and all that kind of stuff. So they said, the question was, did God save Donald Trump to save the world? Like, I didn't even know
that question.
They asked that on PMQs, bro. No, sorry. This is question time. Sorry.
Oh, about this. Yeah,
this is question time.
Question time. I have to say because
fam.
Is that what you're wasting your questions?
Yeah. Fair enough. It's a different form.
Even on question time.
It's still mad. I was thinking, raw, like, I didn't know they asked questions like this.
And man, ever since my guy David Dumbley went, I didn't feel it the same still.
Yeah, and I feel you.
I was a support of him still.
But I do feel like the world is shifting though. So I do feel like even in terms of us talking about how people are talking like mad articulate, and sometimes it's not necessarily clear. They're not, because sometimes when people are being very articulate, part of the reason why they're doing that is because they're leaving room for nuance. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So they're not necessarily committing. But what I'm seeing now is like, even with journalists, I'm seeing journalists be a lot more like even vociferous with their actual opinions.
Hey, you made sure. I wanted to see that one. Was he gonna stop?
I was just thinking, is everyone gonna pretend?
I said, even vociferous. Bro,
I started to do this thing. When you said
I can't do the toe. So it is done now, but they're just being very much more like direct. So like one of the funny interviews that I've seen, was, I can't remember her name. She's a popular like journalist and news writer, whatever it is, right? And she was talking to, remind me of this guy's name, Nigel Farage. And this was time ago. This is when the first thing happened with Trump getting shot, whatever. This is like last year, time ago. And she was like, Nigel Farage, what are you doing here? And then but she was sticking it on him.
Well, yeah. I
Do you remember?
I know the exact interview you're talking about.
Bro, and she was like, but do you know what it is? I've just been seeing more of that. So I feel like, especially where 2023, even from the pandemic here, there was a lot about fake news and all that kind of stuff here. I've seen a shift in terms of like journalists being a lot more, direct with their questions. Very much like, almost like before, as a journalist, you kind of had to be impartial, but you can almost now tell that they have a certain opinion towards this thing. And I don't know if that's good or bad, because again, if you're switching on the news, you want to kind of hear everything kind of impartially and then make up your own decision on it, especially with how things have been done in the past. But yeah, I think that's a shift now. I think people are like, listen, we don't want any more of this, like you lot just saying words and all that kind of stuff, and no one really understands what's going on. We actually want to know what's going on.
What's your actual view? Where do you stand with this?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also, to be fair, the general public, especially in the UK, are not going to understand certain things that you say. If you don't say it clearly, they're not going to understand what you're talking about.
So there's a big shift because of that.
Yeah.
But that's also why the language thing is interesting. Like, I run a research company. We do lots of reports.
We're still going to get into that one.
We're going to get. But I guess one of the key things is actually one thing I'm always my team know about is like talking simple English.
Yeah.
Actually, so for me, the genuine intelligence for me about someone is how they make difficult.
Exactly.
Because you really understand. If you really understand, you can break it
So
down.
you see when people just throw grammar and words. Some people don't even actually know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Particularly like in consulting, they're just using grammar, but actually you haven't.
What does this mean?
And do you know what? A lot of the senior leaders I've spoken to in the past year, one of the things that they said that helped them with their communication was having children. So they were always like, even in terms of explaining what they do at work, how can I explain that to my child? Do you get what I'm saying? And then there was a point in time where everyone was talking about how do you communicate what you do. I remember I think I spoke to you a lot about it as well, where someone was like, I bring ideas and perceptions to life, for example, and he's a project manager. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, you might think that, like, how does the two link and all that kind of stuff, but that's how he explains it, and it gets you thinking that actually, oh yeah, cool, you take things from ideas, you create a plan around it, and you deliver on that plan. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, so I agree with what you're saying in terms of taking complex structures, ideas, working patterns, whatever it is, and converting that into something that's very simple, layman terms. Like layman terms, do you know what it is? I grew in confidence when I was working one time, and I was working in a domain that I didn't know too well, innit? And then someone who was seen as one of the kind of like colleagues that you can aspire to be like because everyone thinks he's sick, sort of thing, He was like, you know what? My layman brain's just not going to digest what you've just said. Can you just say that again to me in like simple terms? Like, what does this mean, sort of thing, innit? And obviously, saying something like that on a call, I feel like coming from where we're very competitive and that, you might think that person is displaying some weakness that makes him look less intellectual or intelligent or whatever it is. But actually from that, he made sure that he was leaving that call with the correct information and a full understanding of what was going on. From there, I started doing it straight away. I was like, oh, do you know what? Can you just explain that again in layman terms? Like, what does that mean? If this happens, is there a direct relationship between this and that? Do you get what I'm trying to say? And bro, it's worked wonders.
Everyone, you ask them that, everyone starts stuttering about it.
And it's about having the confidence to do it. And sometimes you got to see other people do it or see other people talk about how it's helped them in order for you to do it. But trust me, don't leave a call, don't leave a space, don't leave a conversation unless you're definitely going to follow up without understanding what's happening in that conversation, in that context. Right?
Yeah. That's true. But the confidence bit is key though. You got to have confidence to ask the question.
Of course.
For sure.
Because like the perceptions.
Exactly.
If you already have preconceived perceptions of the way people are going to perceive you. If you say certain things. So if you feel like people already perceive me as I'm not like good enough, ask someone, can you explain what you meant by that? It feels like it's fueling what they already think of you, innit?
Yeah.
Obviously, you do have to get over that. Easier said than done. Of course, innit?
Do you not know where you got your confidence from? Because when you're talking about confidence, I know I'm somebody who's confident, innit? But I can't really trace it back.
I can still.
I can't really trace it back to anything per se.
So what?
Do you know what it is? It started in school.
Yeah.
And it sounds so dumb, but obviously, a few things. So one, I'm the only boy in my family, It actually plays a part. The way people see you in your family when you're the only boy sometimes, it's like, you get not a bit more attention, but that's one. Two, primary school, my sister was like a couple years older than me. So I came into primary school, I was probably in like year 1. I think maybe she was in like year 6. So the older boys will come to man and be like, hey, listen.
That's a 5-year gap. You say a couple years.
It's a couple years, man. It's 4 years, so but it's a couple years. But
year 1 and year 6.
Sorry, fam.
No, fair enough. No, fair enough. No, make sure you leave every conversation with full understanding.
No, hold on. I'm coming though. But,
Yo, what? Nah.
It's never no pause-free placement.
You know?
That one was...
You think this is a pause for zone, it's not still. Fam.
Hey.
Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Whatever. Anyway,
yeah. Just do your thing. So as you were saying.
Yeah. But the older boys will come up to man and be like, if anyone that says anything mad, come tell us. So already, you build a kind of that confidence, and then you kind of carry it through. And it's almost like people respond to you the way that you act sometimes, isn't it? So because I would act with a certain level of bravado, people would respond to that and be like, I remember in primary school, they say me and my other brethren were the strongest in the year. We've never had to fight. No one has ever had to fight before, by the way. We're in primary school. There was people had that little things, but people just perceive things off how you behave. So I feel like the confidence that like I got from the people around me, it's just helped me to feel confident. Do you know what I mean? And then being affirmed.
Yeah.
When you're affirmed in certain things as well, you start believing. When trusted people are saying, you're this, you're that. All right, you believe what they're saying about you, innit? Like, you're smart, you're this, you just believe it, and it keeps going until someone else tears you down. Do you get me? And then you start believing what that person says now. And then maybe your confidence dips at that point. Do you know what I mean? You start questioning things. Like, hold on, am I really what these people said I am? Do you know what I mean? Did you really believe what they were saying about you, kind of thing, innit? But in answer to your question, I think mine started from young. Do you know what I mean? And just those affirmations and family and stuff.
What about you, lot? Could you zero it down to like, not necessarily a moment, but things?
Do you zero it down? Because I've had this conversation before.
Because this is something that I would probably have to actually proper think about it. To kind of, I'm sure I probably will come to some sort of conclusion, but I'd have to go away and actually think about it.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'll start doing that thing where I start saying that, I'm actually like a introvert, extrovert, like all that kind of stuff. I talk about that. So what is I can't even.
But it has nothing to do with being confident though. An introvert can be confident.
No, I hear it, but to be fair, I feel like in terms of how everyone perceives in being an introvert versus being an extrovert, they think about confidence in terms of extrovert and all that kind of stuff. So I'm talking about it in that sense, innit? Not necessarily that you can't be a confidence introvert sort of thing, that like your own space and all that kind of stuff. But I think for me, it's like, well, you feel I still did the...
No.
The next word of the
day. But you know what it is, for me, I don't... Like, there's certain points in life here where, okay, cool, I just grew in mad confidence and I just didn't care. And I can't even lie to you, a big factor for me about confidence was not caring. So it was freeing myself from the shackles of other people's opinions and all that kind of stuff. So I'll do crazy stuff. Like, I like pranks and that, do you know what I mean? So from young, I could be on a bus, like listening to like Sweet Caroline before it was a thing. Before all of the man them grew up watching football, knowing that Sweet Caroline was a thing, I'll be on a bus singing it out loud. Where people are watching me and that, and the man them thinking, yo, you're moving mad, and all that kind of stuff. Sounds crazy, I know. But like, even things like that, but it was just about not caring. Like, I just, like, bro, you're so funny. One day, I was walking into school, with my brethren in it, like, and I was listening to music with my headphones and it was Many Men, like it was 50 Cent, And I was, like there's one verse, it's like, many put money on my head, and then I'm blinded. And then my friend just started busting up, he's like, yo, chill, man, like, because people walking past thinking, frick, like, do you get what I'm saying? And I was like, do you know what it is? Sometimes I was just in my own world, do you get what I'm trying to say? I think when it came to other spaces and stuff like that, it's like, listen, do you know what? I felt like I got into situations, because this is another thing that happens as well. Sometimes you build confidence because you try to build confidence, if that makes sense. So, for example, if I've been in a situation, I've told you this multiple times, I know a lot of people from places where the stuff that they keep up with, even some till to this day, it's not obviously the space that man is in. So, but what I was finding is that I was going back into meeting these people, and in them spaces, and because I was in them spaces, I was like, because I do this whole thing, the same reason why I code switch at work is the same reason why I'm kind of like code switching with them, which sounds mad, even though because I'm from there. It's like, they'll chat to me about something, it's like, yeah, man, so we're just gonna X, Y, and Z. And I'm even, nah, hear it, like, da-da-da. And I'm thinking, no, I don't hear it though. Like, that's not the message that man is saying is what man should be keeping up with. So from that kind of thing, that happened one too many times for me, innit, where I felt like I was just allowing people to do stuff around, man, that will make them feel like I'm comfortable with it. And then, lo and behold, you invite me in it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So then from that, I was kind of like, no, I've just always got to be very, very clear in terms of where I stand, innit? So there was a time where everyone got bagged for something. where they done like basically done something mad, got back to it and all that kind of stuff. But I was nowhere near it, so I could stand firm in the fact that listen, when you lot said you lot was going there, I was like nah, and that saved man. And if I didn't learn that lesson before that, I'm done. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I knew I had to build a confidence, and then that's when I started doing. I probably did it too much in terms of I just started going against the grain with everything. Like if something was the popular thought, I'm going against it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's how I kind of trained myself to just be a bit more confident. If I'm being honest with you, someone a new Kendrick or Kate or Drake or something or whatever it was at the time, will drop. Everyone's listening to it. Everyone's gassing it. For me, I'm not listening to it. I'm not listening to it. Do you get? So obviously I've done it too much, but that's how I kind of grew in it still.
That's good stuff. I say for myself, like school, definitely from school. I feel a lot of this stuff originates from. And I feel like in school I was always up for putting myself forward for different opportunities. It could be school council, prefect, whatever, like all this stuff. Just put myself forward, bro. And I think a lot of the confidence for me was seeing the results. See, like I'll try and do something, see a positive result. And also, you see, it's also about where you want confidence. That's another thing as well. So like when it came like academically, it's like I get these results, I'm getting results. I'm not even really trying hard, but I'm still in like top set. I'm still with a man. I'm still doing whatever. So again, confidence just coming from that. Again, money as well. So when I was younger, so you got bread, you're gonna be confident. That puts a spring in my step, bro. That's it. So again, how you get the money? I mean, but
it's funny. They
like,
say
this
that
is
about
the truth
money,
of where
but
that's where the confidence coming. It's like I know that in school, no one's gonna call me dumb. Like because I'm not dumb, and also I'm not broke.
Fam, I remember year 10.
That's the Mandem thing though.
Year 10 on close day. I remember me and my boy were Lion Scott jumpers. And what's so mad? What's so mad? People listen, but I'm not gonna read that. Bro, I remember, and they sold it in size. So they just brought it to size in Carnaby Street. So we went size on the weekend, bought the jumper, and it was £75 in.
And
bro,
back then,
that's
stupid money.
That's not dumb money. That's dumb money back then. So we wore it on close day.
Scott, Etienne Ezeki.
Bro, they started. Bro,
Ferrucci.
Ferrucci. Bro, and people started to throw the it's fake accusations at us, innit? Look at you, man. But just to back up the point that you kind of get confidence in it when you start wearing that. You just feel that.
That's why, as I got older, truly understanding that the confidence in my self-worth and in my assets and abilities, that's when things really shifted. But a lot of it was more from, I just got Armani's, I've got this, an abundance, I can go and buy this and wear it one time, not wear it again because people see me wear it. It's that, but then, I mean, that just then creates a whole idol of yourself in a different way. And that's the real issue. But I would say it may not be from a healthy place.
But that's how it grew.
But that's how it grew.
I feel you.
Still...
You know, a lot of people got a problem with that now in terms of like, even in terms of like the whole like men and women and all that kind of stuff. Because I feel like, I don't know, obviously I can't chat for women. Do you know what I mean?
Let's
very clear. I don't know how they get their confidence in it, but like, I mean, obviously if you've got a pretty face, like sometimes it helps. Do you get it? But like for the man them, it's like, a lot of the time they say like, as soon as a man starts making money, then you'll find out who he really is. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And they say like, because, and I kind of get it from a certain degree. I feel like as soon as someone makes money, you feel like you have to answer to less because you can now, and this is probably me saying this in a very politically correct way, but you can now change your environment to suit and meet your needs and rely less on other people in order to do that or achieve that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, but you know, basically, if I'm not saying this in a politically correct way, and essentially what they're saying is that a lot of nerds grow up and they get money and then they start moving like crazy, diabolical, all that kind of stuff. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Being rude, whatever it is. And I mean, I don't know.
It makes sense because for me, it's like growing up, like going to school, confidence. You have to have your kickers. I wasn't going to wear wallabies or some...
I did have kickers.
I had one at the time, but I bought my own kickers. I bought my own kickers.
No, but you know what I mean? So like,
yes, bro.
You wouldn't wear wallabies from your 70, 11. You told me you're super confident. Don't get me wrong, there were people that... You see in my head...
Certain things that will give you like an extra...
Because a lot of times, it will also... You get the confidence from fitting in.
I remember, it was so funny. I remember one time I had like... obviously, I'd bought kickers, whatever it is, And like, do you know what it is? There's not, even though I knew I wanted kickers in it, and I even learned it from my sister. My sister's like, nah, trust me, get this. So I got it early, yeah, before people were actually starting to wear it and that, yeah. And it was like, this is so mad. There's one of my sister's friends, yeah, like older, fam. I thought she was buff. Bro, I thought she was the longest thing since that sliced bread, yeah. It's so mad. And like basically, she must have saw me on the bus one time and it going home or whatever. And she's like, oh, is there any troublemakers that wear kickers at that hours? I was gassed. Hey, listen. I started to be like, yeah. Like, man's back. It's so funny. I had little comments, yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know what?
that's true still, that's true.
Little, and it's not even an affirmation like that, yeah, but little things like that, yeah, kind of like just boost your confidence as well still.
I do hear that.
But yeah, that's why they say go where you're celebrated and that.
Yeah, no, for real.
Which is rubbish, by the way. I don't agree with that. Do you agree with that? Go where you're celebrated.
No, but I get the concept though. I get the concept because I think the concept is not. They're not thinking about it in a wider.
Yeah, they're thinking about it in a very specific niche.
You get me in terms of where you call home. Do you get me, or where you call that? Go where you're celebrated. I hear it.
Because my thing is that where you call home, like you should be challenged. So but
celebrated don't mean you're not challenged.
Exactly, but that's the point though, because I feel like a lot of people when they talk about go where you're celebrated, they misconstrue it.
Yeah, love you. Yes, people.
Yeah. Yes, men. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But these times you need people that are gonna challenge you around you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You need some, bro. My thing is, trust me. I feel like I water myself down so much here because I don't feel like people want to hear. It can be overbearing when I start being like, listen, bro, like I can't lie. Got to pattern this thing up. But then I've got friends that we can do that with, and they'll do that with man as well, yeah. So I've got friends that be like, no, listen, do you know what? I've seen an improvement in X, Y, Z, and I'm like, yo, thank you, man. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And then I've also got friends that I've been like, bro, like, I had a friend, okay, cool, I had an honest conversation with a friend one time, yeah, and he was like to man, he was like, bro, like, this is so mad. He was like, look, can't you see that my man's avoiding you? And I was like, no, like, we're cool, man, we're blessed. Like, I didn't see nothing was wrong with it, innit, sort of thing. And he's like, nah, bro, but the way that you are, you're doing X, Y, and Z, and that's making him feel a certain way. So he comes out of his shell, or he feels more likely to be himself when you're not around, sort of thing, innit? And I was like, cool. Do you know what? Fair enough. Sometimes you need people to tell you stuff that you can't see. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And like, that challenged me in a way, and no one else was going to say that to me, innit? And that's like one of my closest brethren that said that to man. And the way that we've grown that relationship since them points, is like, we always say, listen, we're not doing enough. We're doing this, boom, boom, boom. I can say that to someone else, oh, we're not doing enough and that, and they'll feel like I'm trying to criticize them. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Or like negatively criticize them or tear them down or whatever it is. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that's why, like, the whole go where you're celebrated, I don't get it twisted. I understand the importance of positive affirmations, people who feeling like you're cared and loved for. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But then I definitely feel like part of how I feel cared and loved for is bro, you gotta challenge me, bro. You gotta challenge me.
That you can only get that through humility, really, isn't it? So again, and humility is not really a topic of conversation, particularly in our society, in terms of, and also that it's a daily practice. That you don't just arrive at, I'm this humble person. That's it, because you're constantly being tested on your humility. And that's why, so again, when you think about the character thing, like with money is just an exposer of your true character. Now you got the means. What are you gonna do?
Someone said that though. I remember there was one guy. It's funny because he was actually a pastor preaching, and they clipped that bit. The guy's talking about rubbish. But the wider clip, I got what he was trying to say, and it was like, listen, if a man tells you he's humble, check his bank account first, and then ask him again. And in that, what he was saying was that basically, until a man has bread, let's see whether you're really humble.
And that's something in particular, let's say in the Christian community is not talked about. Because even like when I talk to people about, let's say, the topic of generosity, right? So we all know need to be generous, and that makes sense. And people get it. But actually, what people don't get is, where's the conversation around greed? You can't actually know if you're a generous person if you don't have internal dialogue or talk with other people about what does greedy look like for me.
Exactly.
How do you actually know you're generous if you never discuss greed? Because we all know greed is a sin that all of us can fall into, right? Like, I was greedy, hence why I did so much different things in my life. But actually, if we're not talking about greed, we don't really hear sermons or different Bible studies that, look, let's talk about greed. Because actually, that's what we should be talking about. If we can't deal with that, the generosity stuff doesn't mean anything.
It's true still.
And that's why I feel around that humility, it's hard to take what you mentioned before around the challenge unless you humble yourself and invite the accountability.
Yeah.
So I've just learned, because similar to you, people can perceive me as, this guy's intense because you do. The more you take yourself seriously, then the more you have to live with the perception of people are gonna find you intense. And so for me, it's just more about, look, I just make it clear to people, again, even down to mentorship, different stuff. Tell people I might not be the person for you. This is what I am on. And I know that you don't really need this. You might really need this and this. And again, that's back to the humility, not to feel like I'm always going to be the best person. You might need someone who might just be more loving and affirming in a particular way. I can do both, but not without this other stuff. So again, it's like understanding I'm not the... You also have to know how you're wired. And that accountability, and when you talk, that's just a lot for people. So again, more times than not, I just have to just turn things into banter. If I'm trying to correct someone, bro. If we have to sit down, you're just not gonna want to lick me every time. I'm just gonna turn this into whatever. Or if you told me like I got brethren that are single, whatever, be like, yeah, man, this guy really. I'm like, bro, you don't want to be married, man. Let's just stop. We are not gonna do this. We're not gonna spend 45 minutes of life. We're not gonna get back because you wanna. So I just learned just to
that one's fucking
close down the conversation. Because like, I know you, like, it's not, there's no women in this room. I know you. Like, you shared with me in terms of just your thoughts, your reality, your beliefs. Look, you are not ready to be in any relationship. And that is just it. That's just full stop. So, in fact, every now and then, I might feel lonely. It's like, bro,
it's not that.
Just give it 2 hours, you'll cool down, you'll get back to your normal fam.
That's it. So again, it's just learning. I just learned I have to just be more conscious in terms of not being overbearing in that sense.
Word.
Hey, you're listening to Bible Babes and Banter.
All right, let's get into some testimonies. Every week we like to do testimonies. We believe God is constantly working. Testimonies encourage faith, so I'm trying to do that here on the pod every week, man. So let's get into it. You look saying let's go first. I'll go first, to be fair. I had a very difficult conversation like this week, innit? And it's something that I was preempting to be a lot harder than it actually ended up being, basically. And it was a very frank sort of conversation with somebody who's older than me, do you get what I mean? Which is obviously quite hard to do, innit? And in this situation, I am kind of saying, yo, this is what the pattern is. Do you know what I mean? Which is difficult to do, innit? Especially when you speak to somebody who's older than you and half and da. But it was a very good conversation, innit? Like the outcome was a lot better than I anticipated. Like I anticipated like a lot of pushback and all of that sort of stuff, but no, like it went very well. Very well still. Thank God, man.
Sick still.
Thank God.
Mine is, sounds weird, but this week is like I got like a burst of inspiration. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it was kind of like the you know how we kind of spoke earlier about having those difficult conversations with yourself to be like, fam, what are you actually doing right now? Like you're performing at a level that's really comfortable. You're not really like, this is not what you're doing now. It's not hard. Do you get me? For like, obviously you can talk about it for yourself, innit? Just for me, I was like, this thing is not hard, man. And then I sat down and I was just looking at things, watching things. I got like a burst of inspiration to be like, you know what? Things have to pattern up. Do you get me? And then me and my missus had the conversation as well. I was chatting to her. She was like, all right, like we need to move like this. So it was just a good conversation, man. I thank God, one, for the inspiration, but two, that we could just have that conversation. And there's someone close to home to hold you accountable to, like, okay, you say you're going to do this. And fam, there's nothing worse here than, obviously, your brethren's hold you accountable.
Yeah, the missus
can't
is peak still.
Your missus holds you accountable now, fam. Start adding some extra twang.
That one hits different.
It's another story still.
It's different.
It's another story, but yeah, no, thank God for that one still.
Oh, fair enough. For me, do you know what's so mad? I had that same conversation with myself earlier on this week as well. And I was just like, listen, like, I'm actually going to stop pretending. Because, you know, for a long period of time, I was doing the whole thing where it's like, basically, I want to under-promise so I can over-deliver. I was trying to make it easier on myself to look successful in other people's eyes, innit, when I'm doing things for someone. So if someone asks me to do something, I'll be like, I'll try it. And then I'll just get it done. Do you get what I'm saying? But like,
I think it's actually
that's so funny still.
It's like, fam, like that's not what you want me to do yet. I've actually, there's 10 minutes left. I'm going to do it. I might try and get it done for next week.
These times I've actually done like, I've only got like 2 lines left. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But I was just like, listen, do you know what? I'm just going to stop moving like things are difficult for me. I'm going to stop moving like, bro, I can do, as long as I've got the time, so long as I've got the time, I can do nearly anything. That's genuinely how I feel, sort of thing, innit? So I was like, I'm gonna stop doing that sort of thing, innit? And the only thing that I find hard about being in this space here is that I then can't stand when I feel like someone else is doing that around me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So the reason why I not necessarily avoid being in this kind of space or this way of thinking is because I then feel like, the moment I feel like someone is not, or they're moving like something's a bit extra difficult, or they're not behaving up to standard or up to par or whatever it is, I'm gonna start thinking, like it's gonna get me annoyed, innit, sort of thing, innit? And I genuinely haven't mastered the art of how to manage that yet, to be honest, innit? So, but I was thinking the same thing. But I think by way of testimony, my testimony this week, is, so basically, it's kind of like work related, innit? But in terms of just having that thought, there's another thing that they said to man at work here was like, they said it to me time ago, but they kind of reiterated it again, and it just reminded me, innit? Because I've been second guessing myself in terms of how numb I can become to certain things, But they were like, listen, like, even when things are going mad and all that kind of stuff, like, I'm always very like cool, chilled, laid back. I'm never flustered and XYZ and da. And I was thinking like, and again, remember, I'm because I'm always constantly, I'm a introspective person, innit? Constantly thinking, I was like, like, is it out of me not trying to react? Because I'll be real with you lot in terms of where it stemmed, even when we're talking about confidence and that, At points, I was like, listen, I can't see me flustered. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, you can't see me too excited. You can't see me nothing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I was like, when certain things will happen, bro, I will have a shiver down my spine, and I will stay, like, my face will stay straight. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But like, outwardly,
Okay,
Is it?
that is what?
No, nothing.
That can't be anything. You must be
Bro,
crazy.
that
You must be crazy.
No, shivers you're getting.
You must be crazy.
I don't know.
Nah, listen. If you see something mad gruesome, have you like you've never felt like, oh crap? Like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
I've never used that.
Right, whatever.
The
innit?
description
Cool.
terms. Whatever.
Alright, cool. But the point is, too shame, man. The point is, it's like something mad could happen, and or something crazy or something mad, sorrowful, whatever it is could happen, And my initial response to when anything happens to man is to hold whatever, however I was looking before this thing happened, unless I've inadvertently let go of myself, I must remain the same way through it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And even when it happens at work, it's unintentional. Like, I'm not, you lot saying, oh, yeah, we got this, everyone's running around like headless chickens and all that kind of stuff, But I'll just be like, cool, no, we'll deal with it, innit? Like, it is what it is, innit? We'll deal with it, sort of vibe. But yeah, so it was just a testimony, because I've been second guessing that and being like, but is that making me too numb? Like, do I need to start reacting more and X, Y, Z and Having that kind of answer was like a godsend to me, basically. Yeah, so it was a godsend. So it was hearing God speaking.
Thank God.
That's positive, for sure. Say for myself, I got a great email this week.
Yeah.
So in terms of just like in my industry, so been nominated for recognition, so that for me was
cool.
Come on, clap it up. Clap it up.
So again, so that was a pleasant surprise, man.
Yeah.
Even just like, just even encourage people. Like, I always pray about divine emails weekly. I'm praying for my inbox to just be
I hear
popping.
it still. I hear it still.
That's a lot of time. That's where the sweetness is. Let it land in my inbox. You get all kinds of emails, but I'm like, so again, it's just that. That's something I always pray for, because you never know where the harvest is going to come from or what's going to happen. So for me, I'm just always praying that, Lord, this week, send something sweet my way.
I hear it still.
No, that's serious.
A lot of times you got to be targeted with the praise.
Yeah,
I feel you.
Guaranteed.
That's a divine email.
Divine email.
I
was like,
imagine that still. Because I'll be like, I want an encounter. I want encounters daily. But divine email, I hear it. That is getting added.
Because again, I feel like as believers, it's just learning to be surprisable. And you see, like with an email, like with my emails, for example, I've got a system which emails only come at certain times anyway. Because I don't like the feeling of an email landing in your inbox and now that takes your focus. So actually, I got set timers when
things come in.
Exactly, and that's on purpose. Because many of you know, like sometimes you get an email now just taking up your time trying to respond. But for me, it's more like, look, be more disciplined with that, but also, Lord, surprise me in my inbox.
I hear it.
I just don't want to be surprised with there's always drama.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
always
yeah,
something
yeah.
to sort out.
Yeah.
So that's a given. But it's the other side.
Really divine.
Yeah, something I didn't expect. That's it. Divine evils.
Facts.
Amen.
That's luxury, boy. I said my email just come through at a certain time because I just don't know. What? Listen, if their email comes out, the thing is red hot and it's urgent, white hot and it's urgent. I gotta jump on that one.
They'll call you.
All right.
But again, that's the truth.
Aye.
That's crazy.
Aye. That was crazy still.
That's crazy.
That was crazy.
It's crazy.
You're gonna
That was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy still.
But that's it's true though. Divine email, that's serious one. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
word, I'm adding that still.
But you got that still. But yeah, you know what?
Hey, you can't even give testimony. Say
Can't really praise you, God.
It's mad. See what these men are on.
And then you started.
He's the worst, man. You're the worst, bro.
Aye, that's really still. But hey, look, before we get into the game, yeah, so we got a special guest in the building.
Come on.
Do you get me? We got our local congressman.
Come on.
You get me? We got
Clap it up.
our clear view connoisseur.
Come on.
You get me? Shout out
on.
that Peckham Boy, man. Welcome.
Come on, man.
Welcome. You get me? Well, how you feeling?
No, feeling good, man. It's been fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good still.
Yeah. So, see, we spoke about a game earlier, and basically, what you're gonna do is I'm gonna give an example of what you're gonna do, yeah? So I'm gonna pick a random item in this room. You have 1 minute, yeah, to make a sermon out of it. You have 1 minute to make a sermon out of it, and it has to be obviously related to that subject. So, for example, if you lot picked a phone for me, I'll start and I'll be like, you know, in life, sometimes we tend to lose connectivity with each other. Sometimes we're too busy, we ignore our phones. Sometimes we're too focused on work, we ignore our phones. And sometimes we're going to miss that important call. That call telling us the direction we need to go in. That call telling us we need to focus in that direction. That call saying that we need to look up. Get into your phone book and call the most important contact. And that contact is God. And he will guide you through the connectivity of the Holy Spirit. And he will lead you.
Amen.
Boom.
Amen.
Amen.
Look at that.
Amen.
Practice that.
Hey,
I actually did it.
No, fair enough. It's
No,
good.
no,
It's
no,
good.
no,
That's
no,
good.
no,
That's
thank you.
good. That's good still.
That was
VJ,
good.
bro. VJ, bro.
That was good.
No, I've done it a few times, didn't I? I've done it a few
That was
times.
good.
When it's your turn, bro, just make sure
You don't use that one.
you know like that. That one seemed prepped. I was looking at right.
Bro, no stuttering.
No, you remind me of them boys in school that say my dance score was fake, bro. You get me? I started hating them from the distance, like, man.
That was good.
Yeah, but yeah, man. So,
You man go first, innit?
you saying?
Yeah, you man go first, innit?
What, to pick an object or you can
No,
go with me?
to actually do it.
Say no more.
Cool. So, what are we gonna pick for E-man? Let me get my timer up. So,
This one's hidden.
have we used that one
No,
before?
you used that.
We've used that
Before,
one.
before.
We've used it.
Aye. Obviously,
Nah. Come on.
What's that?
straw.
Okay,
Sure.
cool. Alright, so yeah, it's a straw, yeah? Okay, 3.
You are a bad guy.
Sorry.
Alright, cool. 3, 2, 1.
How about you? See, in this life, sometimes, like, we want to take on everything. Like, we want to do this, we want to do that. We want to take it all in one go, but sometimes you can't take it in.
You are funny. Like, come
Yo.
on,
Nah,
man.
come on.
Come on, man.
Nah,
I'm so sorry.
nah.
Oh,
Nah, please.
Now, do you know, this minute needs to be paused.
yeah,
It has to be.
I've done it. I've done it.
No, it's true still. It's true still.
I can imagine
Oh, my days.
if that's in church and the pastor says that.
Fam.
I laugh at that pastor.
You laugh at the pastor. It's like,
Alright, cool.
What was I? Yeah, we want to take on too much and do so many things at one period of time. But sometimes it's good to have like a funnel basically that's able to make things a lot more smoother than they can be. If you try and pick up a cup with a lot of water and you just down it, it's gonna fall all over yourself. You're gonna make a mess. But what you need in this life sometimes is a straw. You put the straw inside. You can mix it. You can obviously take in a lot at a steady speed. it's not something that comes too much. But in this life, oh my days.
No, I hear it. No.
Time's up, man.
Hey!
Nah, straw's difficult.
Hey, straw's hard.
Straw's hard. I'm so sorry.
Straw's
hard
still.
That's my bad.
You know what's so mad here? When you said I didn't really clock until you started that, fam.
What are you gonna and where the route that you went down was
it was a good route. The route you went down was actually a good route. Because you diverted it away from.
Yeah. No, that was tough. That was tough still.
Oh, fair enough.
He did that. He did that well.
He did it well.
It's just
You get me? Distractions.
the distractions there.
It's
never your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. But yeah, that is that was tough.
That was tough still. Can't lie.
Alright, cool. One for Hend, yeah. Is that a cactus?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool.
What am I going to say about a cactus?
Free, fam, he's loaded it already in his head. I know this guy.
I actually haven't.
I know this guy.
Under promise, over deliver.
I promise you. Aye, it's literally not one of them ones.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, cool. So, in time, alright, cool. So basically, in life, yeah, I feel like we've been taking our walk seriously, innit? I'm speaking to the people in the room as well, right? So, I feel like one of the things that we've been doing is that we've been going to church a lot more. We've been engaging in the word. We've been going to Bible studies and things like that, right? And that's important. But one thing that we need to always be cognizant of is not being seat warmers, right? Now, there's a part of the Bible that talks about good seed, yeah? And the places that good seed falls, right? It talks about the farmer that was scattering the seed, right? And it spoke about a place where the seed was falling on like the pavement, for example, right? And it didn't take, it fell within the thorns. It took, but when it grew, right, it started to wither away. And basically, as people of God, what we need to do is we need to strive to be more like the seed that fell in good soil. Do you get? No, I hear it, but I'm still gonna go.
Very good direction.
Yeah, you know what it is?
Very good direction.
It was tough.
But you know why? I think you got to let
people finish though. I think you got to let people finish. Even if it goes over, you just got to let people finish.
Let him land. No, it's true.
No, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
We'll see. But yeah, see. But anyway, so in life, we got to strive to be like the seed that falls in good soil. And just referring it back to the cactus, and I'm doing this in a very blunt way. Yeah. It's like, I feel like sometimes we don't realize when we are our own cactus, as in we are the reason why we've heard the word and we've got excited about it quickly and early and all that kind of stuff. But the reason why it hasn't really sprouted into something big and good and like a miracle and all that kind of stuff is because of how we then allow doubt to start seeping in, or we allow these new waves of new doctrine and all that kind of stuff to seep into our lives. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And in doing so, we now are becoming the cactuses or the thorns in our own lives. Hey, listen.
I can't let people finish again. I just got to.
No, but you know what it is? It's because I had to restart it again, though. I had to restart it again.
Yeah, but it's you, though, isn't it?
No, but, and the thing is, I even started late.
We can't let that happen again, man. I just got to.
It wasn't great.
It's actually a minute challenge.
It wasn't great still. I can't lie, it wasn't great.
I was going to up about it and start again. I was like, fam.
No. It's because you stopped it, though. It's because you stopped it, like, kind of prematurely. I would have finished, like, in the next...
Stopped it. I actually let it run with it still, but...
That's
cool.
You got easy act to follow, boy. That's the positive in all of this, bruv.
I think the Haribo sweets.
Cactus. What would you say for cactus?
I don't know. I think your thing was good still.
I might be wrong though, but apparently cactus is that if you see cactus in the desert, there's a lot of water
in it,
around it. So something around.
Oh, fair enough.
Like being in the desert, water, hope, stuff.
Yeah, they
like
hold water in it.
Yeah. I think rocky ground though. I think that direction.
Yeah, it was just taking me. It was calibrated.
Long to calibrate.
Yeah. Still. In the moment, it's actually flaming.
You know, you can't do too much intro.
Yeah.
You got
to choose easy items. This week has been tough.
Nah.
So carrying on in that vein.
You can carry on in the vein. I don't know.
The Haribo, the sweets, yeah. Oh, cool. Go 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. So a lot of times when we think about our walk with Christ, for many people, they really struggle in terms of just spending time with the word. They struggle in terms of just getting into the habits of being Christ-like. they struggle in terms of listening to deep sermons when it comes to theology or understanding context, everything. What people really want is just milk. And a lot of times I see the milk like people just wanting sweets. They never want in terms of the true things that come with being a follower. And part of that has to be with changing your diet. And for many believers, they just want the word that's like comes like dessert. Sweets again, think Haribo, think of cakes, think all of that. And so for many people, the thing is, if you want to mature as a believer, you have to start having solid food. And so the solid food really comes through when you're having that quiet time, when you're spending time with Christ, and when you walk around with his presence. Also comes in terms of making sure you're getting mentorship and spiritual guidance from those who walk before you. If not, all you're ever going to be having in your diet is sweets and milk.
That was good still.
That was solid still.
That was good still. I mean,
that was solid.
The clear winner.
Yeah.
Depends what this guy is prepped.
Nah,
Yeah, he is. Alright, cool. Let me give you one.
Nah, I've done mine, man. I've
No,
done
yours is an example.
We do it every week like this. I don't go, I give the example. That's how
What
I
I
start.
feel
That's how I
like
go.
he takes a recording of the room.
I
just practice
it. I haven't listened to my route.
So next time you give an example, we need to give you something.
I'm not going to give examples. Just get me to go. I'm not going to go twice. But I'll do though. Next time I'll just go. That'll be mine, first and foremost, innit?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Aye. So well done, though. Good challenge still.
Yeah,
That was a good one still. All right.
You got X-Man one from that record. What? That was a pure showing.
A minute is
It's
very
tough,
quick.
still. But you know what it is? It's like the countdown, especially when it's like
Yeah, the
abstract.
countdown.
Yeah,
It's the countdown.
Yeah.
When that's how I make sure I put it up here, bro. So it's not that.
Yeah, I feel you.
The countdown.
Because even the cactus, I mean, what that?
Bro, the cactus is mad.
Maybe
The
something
straw,
to do with it being
the straw
prickly.
is
Even
mad.
like, you know, the only thing you could have said
protection
about
thing
the
as well.
cactus is just in terms of that. That's how some believers come across when thinking about us being loving.
true.
Actually
Yeah.
personifying, looking at nature. Many of you are like cactuses, but I need you
yeah.
to be more like.
True.
Aye.
Robbie Bejo.
100%.
Robbie Bejo.
He's ready still.
Yeah, he's ready still. Robbie Bejo, you're like, yeah, some of us are believers that we think we're nice, that flowers, but really,
But actually a cactus.
we're pricks.
Hey.
That would actually be bare funny still.
That's
But yeah,
crazy.
man.
That's crazy still.
But yeah, no, again, man, no, welcome, Kenny, man. Listen,
Yes.
I feel like there's
There's a lot
there's
still.
bare things to get into.
What?
Like, and let me start by saying, yeah, you know, obviously, I have Audible, innit? I've only listened to one other book on Audible, and I didn't finish it. It was, what was it called? I can't remember. I'll get the name. I was like, it was all right. I don't see, when I got into the book, I was like, I don't know what to expect in it. I kind of know you're going to tell the story, and we're not going to get into the book right now, but I thought I'm just going to open with this, innit? I knew you were going to get into the story and that, but the way the story unfolded, yeah, I was like, no. Like, it's like I'm watching a film.
What did I say to you before?
What did you say?
I literally said exactly.
Like, you're watching a film.
So, like, I've listened to stuff on Audible before, yeah, but it's just been like,
Whatever, innit?
this one is like, it's very much cinematic. Like, I'm actually thinking about like the stuff that's happening, and I'm picturing it, and it's very engaging in terms of the way it sounds.
There's certain parts I'm like, oh, fam.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm saying that to myself, like we're not meeting you later. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking, like, what's happening next, bro? I don't you get me. We know what happens next, but yeah, just to say, bro, kudos to that, man.
cold.
That
Thank
book,
you.
bro,
Yeah.
it's cold. The way it was
Serious
written,
book still.
the story,
Yeah.
the way it went, bro, was sick still.
And the fact that it's a true story is what we're about to
Yeah,
get into.
Yeah, for real. For real.
Yeah,
For real.
Life, man.
Not fairy tale.
No,
So what you saying?
real
So
life.
tell us about yourself, bro. Where'd you grow up? Obviously.
Yeah,
Obviously. But just
If it
in case
wasn't
for those-
obvious, do you know what I
just in case for those who are a bit slow.
Yeah. Now, do you know?
Or
So,
visually impaired, bro. Like, it's not
Why
being
you-
inclusive.
why
Like,
you
why is he
say-
saying
why
that?
you say that?
I say people that are slow.
Why you
What if they're
say-
visually impaired?
Boy, did.
What if they couldn't see that?
Boy,
You say that?
sorry, man. He's growing. He's still
Yeah,
still having the.
This is great.
That's a baby cactus. I'm not fully grown yet.
Trust me.
So look, I'm from Peckham, which is obvious, and I always like to, for the record, always say Peckham before all the gentrification.
Yeah. Very
You know, a lot
important.
of times you might just say
Very
Peckham and people think, oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Bruce
not
Peckham,
far.
like,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So,
Very
so
different.
again, wait, listen. So I feel like, because I know you're not gonna have bare questions. Depends on how much you want me to expand.
Yeah. No, but dude,
No,
that's
that's
your thing,
I'm
man.
cool here now. So from Peckham. So again, like growing up, a lot of what I saw was just lots of violence, lots of drugs in terms of just people who are just abusing them, even on the
Yeah.
streets. Again, just seeing lots of just characters and figures. I'm like, listen, this person has this, that. And I'm just seeing other people. I'm like, well, what did they even do? I know they got money. I know that they're shining. And so again, it's just growing up in that environment, like very similar to a lot of other people's areas or whatever people want to call it. But yeah, growing up, just me and my mum and my little brother. So again, a single parent household.
Yeah.
And just having to navigate all of that. So even when you talked about earlier about having older siblings, I do have older siblings, but none that I grew up with in this country. So there was none of that. Oh yeah, my older brother or sister. And it's just you need to know how to navigate. Like how you move here. And again, it's just when you grow up in them environments, you don't even realize until you're out of it how crazy it is to grow up in that environment. So what I see as normal,
it's not normal.
It's distressing.
It's not normal. And also like you become so numb to those realities because I'm talking about I grew up in this area of violence. For some people, it's like that's a nightmare. Whereas it wasn't actually a nightmare. I had a lot of good memories, great times, but it's just the over-representation of some of the things people don't see in their areas. Like I saw in Man, you know what I mean? Again, there's some areas you go in, you don't see like what we might call needs. But as you grow up, you realize actually this is someone who's actually really has a drug problem. But before you just see them and it's like we have these phrases and ways that we look at them like so
that we other them.
So that's the reality.
Did you go to school around there as well?
No, so I went to school in Dulwich. So I went to Kingsdale, but it's in a you know how Kingsdale's positioned, so Dulwich, but it's still near everything. I think the irony of my school is that it's right next to Dulwich College. And obviously I went Kingsdale at a time where it wasn't the Kingsdale today where everyone's trying to send their kids. It's the Kingsdale that unless you got excluded, you have no business in this school. It's the kind of school you only go if it's your last option. That's what it was for me.
I swear Kingsdale had people from very different areas as well. All in one, I remember.
Peckham, Brixton, all the different areas, all in one school.
How was that? How was school?
School was crazy. It's crazy, but I would say like I mean, one of the things that really helped me, and even like we talked about like the confidence piece, was always just feeling like I could hold my own. So because I could do that, I felt comfortable to just navigate. And again, I had other people from the area there as well, so just kind of hold your own. But I was also at Kingsdale when the school was transitioning to become a really good school, so they're trying to get rid of all the troublemakers, riff-raff, all of that. So there's so much things that happened which benefited me. So for example, we had great teachers that went to some leading institutions, Oxbridge, UCL, Imperial, that started to become teachers in our school. And all of a sudden they're like, look, if you want to go to Imperial, you need to be getting this. So again, you see like the expectations and the standards, they brought that up big time. And this is what, and I, as someone who's experienced that, I can see the power of having teachers around you that genuinely believe in the potential of the students. And people that, look, if you want to make it in life, you need to go to these types of unis. Don't. But we see before that some of the old teachers that are there, they're just trying to get you through school and be safe. Whereas someone else is trying to tell you, look, if you want to go to really a Russell group, you want to go Oxford, this is what you need to be doing. And I know you're smart, I know you're capable. And don't make me call your parents. And you know, like they mean it. So I feel like being in that environment was definitely powerful because I could just also focus. I mean, the good thing about having confidence, even what you mentioned, it's like I was able to just be able to just not feel the need to, like, when I'm at school, be at school. Don't try to do the bad boy thing in school.
So that's what I'm gonna say. How did you navigate the two? Because it's like you had good teachers and stuff like that around you. Obviously, you took it very seriously, but school was crazy at the same time. So how did you navigate the two and like separate?
So I think a big part of it was the tutor group I was in and the sets I was in for my classes. There's only
your brethren there.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? So Ali had like, so my brethren who I ended up being cool with and close with, those are people in my class who were like, I mean, they're cool. But everyone else, like people that were playing pound up, bunking, doing whatever, they were in my classes.
Okay.
So again, remember before I said about the confidence thing, like, when I grew up Nigerian household, that stuff there, you have to be sharp. So for me, it's like, I had to go to school and take it seriously. And that's also like down to parenting. It's like I knew no matter what I do in this life, school, I'm not going to play with. All this go home and you're excluded or got... that's not going to run. At all.
What was home like?
Home was... I feel like home was definitely it's just my mum. So I would say she definitely did her best with me and my brother. Like, at the times, even when she felt like, these guys are slipping, she would just cancel one job because she was always them women that do multiple jobs, trying to make ends meet. I know that when you're just young, you're so inconsiderate.
Yeah.
Like, when I look back now, I'm like, damn, I was so selfish. Because I'll just be like, you're just thinking, mum, I'm going out, let me get £20. Acting that, so £20 you work, what's £20? That's the vim that I got. I'm just thinking, bro, why are you so tight? Not understanding. You actually don't have money. Like
No,
but I know that I was definitely one of those. So I just the Lord knows. But a big thing was definitely about education. Like. And also I was very blessed. I grew up in a house where I was never forced to be anything. So like there was no, you need to be a doctor, a lawyer. It was just like whatever you love doing, go and do it. You see, like rugby, I like rugby. My mum's like, support that. Football, doesn't matter. Whatever it was, you had the freedom to do it, but make sure you do it well.
No, fairs.
And I feel like as now I'm older, I look back, I'm so grateful. I would never be doing the stuff I'm doing now if I never had the confidence to try different things. Because I never felt at any stage am I disappointed in, is this approving? Like, how can people do good things and then worry about, is it approving to my parents? You're doing a good thing.
No, fairs.
So I'll say I was very fortunate in that sense. But home, definitely Nigeria. None of these, can't just close the door on your mum. At home, patterned.
It's so funny though. That was a lot of man's stories. At home, and when they were outside,
completely different.
Different story.
Definitely, home, you cannot play games. Like even the book I told, that's why the first part of the book is me knocking on the door, trying to get back in my house. You need to go back to where you came from. That's it. You want to get back in at this time? There were times I waited, how much hours of my life I spent outside that door.
Listen, to be fair, that's one of the positives I had in terms of not being the first one, because I feel like the first one or the oldest in the house gets it the worst. I feel like the ones that come afterwards, it gets more lenient and more lenient. So like, because my sister had the whole rule, like, go back to where you're coming from and all that kind of stuff. Me, obviously, I'll always take my key in it. I can't leave the house without my key. I've learned from your mistakes. I'm not gonna leave the house and not take my key in it. But I hear it still.
Even my thing with, I told the sisters who were good.
Same.
They were well behaved.
Same.
So I was coming like the first anyway.
Same.
So they never had to deal with the whole like,
100%.
Oh, like, bro, I just brought so many firsts.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To the home. So bare complaints were like, even why are you like this? Yeah, your siblings aren't like this. Why are you like this?
100%.
That's something I used to think, fam.
But then,
they're actually just bare different.
Do you know what's so magic? Because even my sister, like, it wasn't like she had got home at like 11. Bro, it was just like, it's just not the agreed time.
Yeah.
So I think it was either, bro, it could have been something ridiculous like 9.
Yeah. My sisters, they're strict, fam. In terms of what they could do, it was way stricter.
Yeah.
I remember even being younger, I remember my dad would be like, all right, your sister's coming off the bus, go and get her from the bus stop.
Oh, sure.
Like, she shouldn't walk home by herself kind of thing. Go and get her. But in my head, I'm thinking, fam, it's just down the road, isn't it? Like, get me? I'm not really going, fam, it's just down the road. These times I'm playing game or something, but you go, you start realizing, right, like, as you get older, you start clocking things a bit more, innit?
Yeah.
But no, it's
That's
interesting.
good though.
Yeah. Bro, those things...
It's jarring at the time.
It's jarring at the time,
in terms of what
but
you're
even now, it plays a big part in the way you see people and like protection, the way you see looking after people. Like, could you feel like it's more of a responsibility because you're used to doing it? You know, this is again very small. Bare people do it, but though you drop someone home, and wait until they get into their crib.
Yeah.
Why are you driving off bare quick? Fam.
Sometimes I'm knackered though.
No, bro, I hate
Sometimes I'm knackered. If I wait, I'm going to fall asleep while driving.
No, bro, I actually but not to say the fam, like, let them open the door, get inside, all right? Do you get me?
Yeah,
now
of
you
course.
can, it's little things like that.
Yeah.
It proper. So when people do that, don't do that. I'm thinking, right, boy. Like,
No, I hear it.
do you get me?
I used to do that, but then now I just wait for you. If you've got one of them houses where you got 2 doors, it's the first door.
Once you're on the first door.
It's the first door.
Once you're on the first door. Once that's
you know what I'm trying to say?
It's all right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say as well. So obviously home pattern, school pattern, but then obviously outside school. But it's interesting, isn't it? So how did you
navigate?
How do you navigate that? Because
it's normally school that makes you fall into some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because it's normally, cool, on the way home, I will go chill somewhere quickly. And then that's how it normally kind of starts, to be fair. And then you got them allegiances in school as well. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But,
and like, school was cool. Like I said, like, I was a prefect in school.
Yeah.
Obviously, to the amazement of my friends on ends. Like, right, you're a prefect. But the
Yeah.
prefect thing for me, again, come back to confidence and whatever, it's like, that's a big status.
Yeah.
I knew I was never going to be senior prefect because
Yeah.
I ain't going to be like them guys. But
Yeah.
prefect, for me, was cool.
Yeah.
So again, it's like, school was just a place where I was happy to just be smart, like do my GCSEs early, like I never hid those things from anyone else. Like, I feel like there's no point in trying to play dumb, play something else. So for me, it's like if I know this stuff, I'm gonna do that well in school. But in school, anytime I had problems, I'd deal with it outside school. So see if there's issues, we'll do this outside school. Because I'm not getting excluded. So just fine, go to the bridge. So that's it. So again, everything was about outside school if you had problems. That's it. Apart from, unless you really needed to do something in the moment in school. But even then, that was probably like more like year 10, year 11. But then those things you could just claim self-defense or do whatever. Just
move on.
Just move on. Move forward.
That's funny story. That never dawned on me. I was too react in the moment, bro. So for example, the whole cool outside school, let's sort this. So it just wasn't a pattern back in the day. For in my school particularly, to be honest. But that's funny still. I never thought about that.
Because a lot of that, because you see me, I can't get excluded.
Bare mature from
that's
bare young.
That's
mature. Bro, that's bare. It's like, listen,
structure.
it's like, meet me in the car park.
It reminds me of my
Yeah,
Reggie.
now.
That's the story I told you about my Reggie, that fam, before lesson, someone done something to him. And I knew that, this is going to react, innit?
Oh, yeah.
But fam, it was English. We went inside English, This guy sat down like this throughout the whole of English. The whole period, he didn't take off his jacket, didn't take off his bag. Teacher came up to me because she knew that my Reggie was like, I said, Miss, when I told, I said, Miss, when that thing rings, get that boy, get him out. The other you, I told her, I was a real talk. If you're asking me for advice and me and her are cool, I said, that other you, get him out. She was like, no, but why? Why don't you? And it's funny as well, because she went Oxford. This particular teacher as well, but none the wiser. And it was a double period, fam. He didn't move. When that bell went, fam, he literally climbed over the table and pummeled bro, it was I can't explain it.
Crazy stuff.
When the was on the floor, he looked so like confused, kind of like, I was thinking, bro, don't bare confused, because you know you've done before. But it was just that level of, hey, I'm going to wait. I don't know why you waited so after, because it's like, you're still in the classroom.
But you got to wait, like, the teachers to go and all that. See, for me, like, if you're in my tutor group, once the tutor's gone, that's the time. That's it, because no matter what, none of us are going to get left alone, though.
Except from like
the
break
bell's
time.
gone, break time. The bell's gone. Like, see, like double period. I'll wait until as soon as it's done. Then
fair enough.
Yeah, you see me. That's one thing is my mum already put that fear of God in me.
That cool home.
No.
But you know, so much. You know, I feel like, because, and I talk about this a lot. Not a lot, but I've spoken about this before. Where it's like, because we've grown up in homes where they're like very strict in terms of like do X, Y, and Z, boom, boom, boom. Now, one of the things that like I remember, like early memories of my dad, was like he was like to man, like I got in mad trouble one time for telling a stupid lie, innit? So it wasn't the fact that I was lying, but it's the fact that the lie was stupid. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So from that, it's like, cool, I just got to be more clever in it. So basically, what I'm saying is that even when I used to get in trouble for doing naughty things and all that kind of stuff, it was almost like, fam, like why, like don't get caught kind of vibe, innit? Not that was the message, but that's what I was taking away from it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it kind of reminded me of that when you said that, like obviously in your home, it was like, listen, we're not messing around and all that kind of stuff. But then for you, it's like, cool. How you translated that into how you were is like, let the teachers go and then cracking. But it wasn't necessarily don't do it.
So much. I realised how calculated that was. And also, it's like, when you talk about the environment, so a lot of it was just down to the greed of making money. So because I wanted to make money, so for me, I'm like, look, okay, in order for me to make money, stay under the radar, also can't bring attention to myself. So a lot of the problems I don't have in school is also because people also know what time it is. They know what time it is outside of school. So therefore, that means in school, because I'm not on the bully boy thing. So it's fine. I think people who like get something from that, it's just, that's just them, isn't it? So for me, it's more like, they already know enough. So in school, I'm cool. No one's bothering me. I'm not getting into the toilet. There's certain man, they have people doing YMCA and that. Like, like people just getting moved. Like it's mad. Once I know, like, this is like Kingston's mad. Trust me. So I know, like, I'm not gonna get picked on or do like if they're gonna look for people. It's unlikely to be myself. That's it. And so for me, it's more like, look, just be cool, man.
Yeah. Is your school predominantly your area as well? In terms of like the
No, I remember it weren't because I had people who came from that to my college. Yeah. I remember none of them were from that side. Oh, okay. Do you know what I mean?
The school is very mixed. And to be honest, and the days where they would have been, and that's the thing about me, like, even if like I had issues, again, just deal with that another time. It's that whole reactive stuff. That's just how you just get excluded.
It's true still.
If you go crazy, like, you're playing football, then now it's like just do it. Or you have to just do things quickly.
Exactly.
That's it. So if you know that you're gonna punch on up in 10 seconds, if not, it's never worth it.
Obviously, we're not telling no one to fight. No, just say back then.
Because back
that was the way of thinking.
This is old.
This is way
But it's funny though because we talk about. I feel that sometimes, depending on who, like what age you're listening to this podcast, you don't really understand how peak ends was back then. In that, like, obviously we're older now. I don't know what's going on like that now. Like, do you get me? I'm just far away from it. But back then, every area was its own thing. Like, to every area, it's like, if you're just not from that area, forget that other area you're from. If you're not from there, you're in trouble. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was
every time.
Fam, every single time.
Like 90% of the time.
Like, anytime I remember walking, if I'm at a bus stop and I'm seeing you coming, I'm thinking, all right, cool.
Yeah, it's long.
Like,
what's going to happen?
It's definitely something that you're not going to walk past me. Yeah, you're going to try. Do you know what I mean? You're going to try it. Yeah. And then you're going to have to get into it.
And that's a crazy way to grow up. And that's what's crazy. Yeah. The only good thing, people, depending on the area you were from, you went out through different gates. So then that way,
okay.
That way it was more cool. But also, like, a lot of times you can be cool with people. Yeah. But the reason why it's mad growing up is that me and you can be cool. But I know if you two see each other, it's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be crazy.
But you're both my boys. Yeah. But I accept that when you two see each other, whatever happens. That's that. But you know that I'm cool with him.
It's mad.
It's a crazy way to grow up. I'm just cool with people that I know my next expression sees them. It's on, and they can't expect me to
back it. And that's mad. Remember we talking about that.
That's why we said that Ezra was mad sneaky back in the day. That's why I felt that way, innit? You get what I'm trying to say, because it was bare times where it's like...
That's it. And the only way you can do that is more about saying, look, it's a line, but it's like, that one time is maybe how far my pass is going when I've given you that blind. But the second time now,
it's not gonna run.
I remember that. I told you the story where I'm in my school. There was the bus stop getting towards Peckham and the bus stop getting towards New Cross. There are two separate sides. Obviously, I had to go the New Cross way. So my brethren was coming. They came from the other side to rob people at the New Cross bus stop. So I was with one of my brethren, innit? And there was a bus that we don't take because it doesn't take us home. I was like to him, bro, let's get on this bus. Like, don't worry, just get on the bus, like, quickly. So he's jumped on the bus. He's gone. So there's other boys in the year above, they're behind. And my brethren comes up to him. He's like to me, oh, welcome, bro. He's saying good. I'm like, yeah. He goes to the boys behind me. He's like, where you not from? And back then, I don't really remember, but Old Kent Road wasn't, at a certain point, Old Kent Road was like neutral. I can't explain it, but you get me? So all of them were from Old Kent. And then he was like, what, you sure, yeah? Are you sure you're not from Old Kent? He's like, yeah. Then he looked at me. Was like, fam, he didn't ask me, these are from Old Kent, but he's looking at me like, fam, are from Old Kent? I was like, kind of figured it. But I was like, well, one thing I'm not going to do is completely lie for you. I completely lie for you, but at the same time, I'm not going to throw you in it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it's that similar kind of vibe of like, bro, it's like a jungle. Do you know what I mean? Like anything can happen at any point. Your brethren can do that to your other brethren.
I remember I was telling you the story where like we used to go chill with front line after school and all that kind of stuff, yeah. And like one time I've gone there with like one of our brethren that's just like he's, I don't know what happened that day. I think we went out somewhere actually. And then I've gone, but then I've left him in like one of the shops that we all chilling. And I've gone to go get a drink or whatever. When I came back here, like the man that didn't know him was trying to move to him, innit? It was just like, I was just like, you lot, man. Like, this man a break. Like, you get what I'm saying? 5 minutes. Bro, it's so funny. It's just anything can happen at any given point. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's like, listen, do you know what it is? I see myself as a good youth. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Because it's like one of those things where even the stuff that man used to get involved in, I never wanted it to go as far as it did, but sometimes it did. You get what I'm trying to say? So it was more of that rather than, like I'm looking for it and all that kind of stuff, yeah. But fam, so sometimes when these things were going on, I'd just be like, bro, like, what am I actually doing here? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Sometimes I'll just be like, listen, what am I actually doing here? Because especially when you're talking about growing up here, and when you go back home, it's like you're a completely different person. Because even the whole angry, this, that, and the other, the way you see it at home is like, I'm trying so hard to contain myself and X, Y, Z, and I'll just go and spend time on myself or whatever it is, and this, that, and the other. But elsewhere, it's mad explosive in it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it's mad. It's just mad having to live those double lives with everything else that's going on as well. So it's not even a double life. It's like a triple life. If you think about it, there's you at school, there's you outside of school, and there's you at home. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So what was the outside of school like?
Yeah. On that point, just to jump on that point as well, I feel like obviously through the book, and even from you talking, there's bare duality. Because, bro, like, good grades, but not only good grades, but bro, you were getting good opportunities. I remember you talking about like working at was it Town Hall? Yeah. Like you're shadowing certain people who are within the public space. Yeah. These are respected people. Do you know what I mean? But then naturally you're from end. So end stuff is also happening at the same time, which I feel could be a common story for a lot of like 1 foot in, kind of 1 foot out.
Yeah, and I feel like that's for a lot of people growing up. Because even with the book, like one of the things I was really trying to do was just using myself as a focal point to just share multiple stories, right? At the end of the day, this is a common experience. Now, for us, that sounds very common. But then to others who know nothing about growing up in that duality, a big part of it is getting people to understand the tension of having to walk a tightrope of, okay, yes, I know I need to do these things, but actually I'm also in this environment. And this environment that if we all had to choose a word to describe it, Django would probably come out if we had the choice of 3 words. So when you actually grow up in an environment like that, there's also animal type behaviors, instincts that you have. Because you know for yourself, the first and foremost, safety. So actually, in order for me to be safe, people have to therefore come to their senses that you're not someone they're going to trouble. In order to be that, there's various ways, right? You can really just isolate yourself, which is obviously a route. You can obviously then just be part of the guys. Yeah, I mean, who are really just doing whatever they like, doing everything. Or, do you know what I mean? Somehow, maybe you got a brother, you got a cousin, so therefore you feel like you never need to bother about all that. Now, when you grow up and it is you, then therefore, and that's one thing I talk about in the book, like I've got a younger brother, I don't want him to make these same mistakes. I've also got to navigate. And at the same time, no one's trying to be at the bottom of the food chain. And also, even the book, I always talk about the time when I've gone to another area with my friends. And then, like, I mean, get that fatal question. Where you from? Thinking, at these times, I know that we got no business in this area.
That's what it's like back then as well.
No business. But because my close friends went to see his cousin, we're in this area. The man see you, it's at least 6 years older. Bro, like, where are you from?
We had one of the moments here, fam. One of the funniest ones. It's not funny.
What time is it? What time? So let me borrow that back. There's no borrowing.
There was one that, fam, like, throughout that whole day, everyone was saying that, South feels weird.
You can feel it,
And when I say, white hot, we was going to ends that was white hot, bro. As in, at that point in time, hella stories, that ends was popping, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And then we've gone there. Lo and behold, like, do you know what it is? And do you know what it is? You never know exactly what's going to happen here, sort of thing. But this is what I'm saying. It's so mad how, like, even from a young age, like, when we talk about discernment and stuff like that, we had it. We felt like the tension. We felt that, if you go to a certain area or a certain environment, certain things were going to happen. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But being young and naive, like, we'll still go anyway because the promise of bountiful
It's funny, I feel like a lot of people had the story of like they got robbed or attempted to rob, and it was like, no, this can't happen again, basically. That was like a turning point, 100% for a lot of people. Like, the way I felt that day, nobody can make me feel like this, like again, innit? And it's like a turning point of, all right, cool,
that's it.
Now, I'm involved. Like,
Yeah, that's it. Because who's trying to be that person? Like, no one. So, like you say, even being in that day, I know, look, I didn't get robbed, but people around me got robbed. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's only by fluke. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I'm just
yeah.
like, do you know? And then you just grow up, you're just like, look, this, trust
Can't
me.
happen again.
The time this happens again, trust, it's going to have to be on the news. Because I'm like...
So what happened in terms of that? So obviously in school you was calm.
Yeah.
Like you had your pattern in school. So then how did the road like kind of creep in for you?
So a lot of it was just money. I just wanted to make bread. So again, for me, it was like, look, I had two older guys from the area. I just kept all the time being like to him, look, man, I need to make some bread, bring me in. So of course, then eventually on one of those days, they actually bring me in. So I'm like, cool, so I'm here now. And I just remember going into this room and just talk about the book, just one big black bag, bare weed. I'm thinking, raw. So I'm just like, bro, this is it. And now I'm 13. I'm thinking, okay, now all I got to do is sell this. And I'm going to have bread. Then they also gave me a specialized bag. You know, back then, I was like having a push. Specialized bag. I was like, that's a serious... That back there. Listen, that back was... Bro. I love that bag. Trust me. So again,
what you know about hiding the back of your brethren's yard because your mum can't see
bro,
it?
Listen, I had to put the tin. You know, you put the can of that Coke or little something in the tires.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it makes it
that thing used to... I tried that with one back, it messed it up bad. You never did that again.
Yeah, so for me, a lot of it was just like, I need to make this bread. And then as I started making the bread, I'm like, do you know, I can actually do this. And so then, bro, I'm like, look, what's the need to stop?
Yeah.
So I just like, look, let me just keep getting this bread, keep going to school. And now it's like, again, I'm in school. I don't need I can buy lunch a couple times. This time I also got my next brethren that I'm hustling with. So again, it's like, I'm just like to him, look, let's just go halves. And then, bro, we're just killing. And remember, don't forget you're young. You've got way more disposable income than everyone else. And so now, all the time, I'm shopping. I'm just buying stuff. I'm like, I don't know, 180 combats.
Didn't your mum ever be like, raw? Like,
I think a lot of it was, you have to see it, isn't it? And you see me, I'll make stories like, I do odd jobs, wash cars, do whatever. So again, there's nothing ever that's crazy. So, and you'd have to really know the designers. My mum, she's not gonna know what's back then. I have G-Star. You know about G-Star. So again, it's really interesting what you said. It's only, let's say, years later when I wasn't even doing anything. One time, like my friend's mum asked me, like, where you get this money from? And it's so interesting. I thought to myself, look how long when I was actually doing it, no one really asked me that question. Because I was taken back by the fact that you actually asked me. And this time the money is actually lynched out. Where'd you get the money from? I was proper shocked, like, since when do people ask where'd you get the money from?
That's actually jokes.
And I come back to accountability, and I feel like if there was much more of that, but then I was also one of them kids where I wasn't engaged with aunties and uncles like that. You know, like there's some people in the family, they go to all these it's just me, my mum, my brother. I got this uncle here, he's cool, couple of... That's it. So I wasn't... Whereas maybe if I was around more other people, might have been like, where's your son? You know, people might clock stuff like them shoes. The shoes... My mum might just think, no, you don't know about these shoes. But now she looks and she sees, okay, I can see CD. This next uncle's like, me, I go Selfridges. I know, so I just your son. I would say a lot of it was to do with that. And also, I was just stacking. So that was my key thing. Stack, you know, like, cool, I got my first bag. Boom. I'm one of them people, like one of my friends one time, until he licked me one time he saw me come and he was like, all this time you're the same guy who asks people, what you got £1? These times I got bread.
I got a bridge like that.
I still ask man what you got £1. As if
there's nothing there.
What's that? What do you feel like you was influenced by any like cultural? So you know, like a big cultural influence was Paid in Full, for example. And how you're describing it, it's very similar to like how Ace Boogie was like moving in. I don't know. Have you watched the film?
Come on.
I'm just making sure.
Absolutely.
After that way, you watch Paid in Full.
Nah, it's crazy. It's kind of crazy. Still. It is kind of crazy. I'll take that one back, but still. But even like the whole like live and maintain kind of thing, and actually not being too flamboyant with it and all that kind of stuff. Because I'll be real again. When I was young and you were doing these things,
people used to ask me questions that we don't live and maintain.
Bro, exactly, live and maintain. How you doing that?
Live and maintain. Live and maintain. What the hell was I saying, bro? But I heard it to a degree.
As soon as I started making money, fam, it wasn't no...
Live and fam.
Bro, listen, the thing is, I started doing mad things like trying to bring other people in, innit? So now everybody's shining. Like, what, you want this? Yeah, I got you, man. Boom, like, grab it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And like, So obviously back then we was buying beer like going JD Sports and balling out. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But like when I got older, obviously, then there'll be more designer stuff there and all that kind of stuff, innit? But do you feel like you was so basically I did it completely the wrong way, innit? But in terms of you, yeah, would you influenced by stuff like Paid in Full and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'll definitely say those things would have played a part. But for me, it was more just, that feeling of just never wanting to be that person I didn't have.
Yeah.
And to not have that feeling, and also to be around people saying that, look, they're making money and it's working out for them.
Yeah.
That's it. Obviously, say, man, go jail, do whatever.
Yeah,
but for me, I'm like, look, keep a low profile. That's it, because I was also shook about going jail. You see, so the whole flamboyant thing, it was a bit too much for me, because I'm just like, this thing here, you shouldn't be doing. And now, if everybody just knows, then are they just going to snitch on me? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? And so a lot of, I would say the culture, because again, if I'm also around a lot of people that do it, then yes, and that's why I feel like, and to bring another word that people can learn, like self-efficacy. but again, a lot of that is just to do with in terms of like your belief system. A lot of the things you believe you can do is because you see a lot of people around you doing it, so now you believe. So if I see a lot of people selling and hustling successfully, or I don't know, they do fraud successfully, I then now think, and they look like me, they come from the same context and background, I then feel like I can do it. But then now when you're like to me, oh yeah, bro, man, you should go and be, I don't know, an accountant or a physicist. I'm like,
what's that?
Who do we know around there?
Yeah. That's
so, but when it comes to this, I'm like, yes,
I know.
It's trying to test
there is so many of us. Whereas actually, if we all grew up and all around lawyers, when someone says be a lawyer, we'll be like, yeah, of course, that's normal. So I would say the culture and sense of what I'm around, definitely. And again, like you talked about, like, you didn't even mention it, about the music. So the music again. So, you know, these times, hey, bro, I'm listening to everything back then. The gigs, the Blade Brown. Like you're watching stuff like The Wire. All these things. So even back to The Wire, I would like identify, let's say, like String a Bell. Like you get,
like everyone did, bro.
So you know, like you just
everyone was calling their show String a Bell, bro.
Then you just find yourself identifying with. Like it's crazy when you look back. It's just it's funny.
It's funny you said the music thing, because even music videos, that was bro. I remember being on YouTube, and that's what I'm just looking for the music videos. Like I'm waiting for them to come. I remember obviously when we were younger, like YouTube came on secondary school, wasn't it?
YouTube came way later from
that. No, that came secondary school.
Secondary school,
It came secondary school.
But it's still kind of late, don't it?
No, but that's where people are uploading, isn't it?
It became a lot more popular. Like people putting music videos.
But basically, what I'm saying is that I would watch YouTube for that. Like I weren't looking. You know, people are looking for tutorials. I don't know when that came, but me, I'm looking for the.
Back in the day, it was for the videos.
It's the hood music video.
Yeah.
So that also had that also had a big influence. Do you get me? I'm watching these videos. I'm like, oh, okay, like, and then I don't know if you used to do this, but I'll look at certain faces and be like, oh, okay, so that's so and so.
And also, if you know somebody in the video or something like that, there is also like a certain like, okay, yeah, that's my virgin or something. That makes you feel like or if you're talking about amongst your friends, oh yeah, that's so and so. I know my man from and it gives you that sense.
What do they call that again?
Say another word.
No. We spoke about it the other day. We were talking about how someone does it. Like when they know someone and they'll be saying it.
I don't know what the term is for it though.
Oh, do you remember? There's a term for it though, innit? Huh?
You talking about on the pod?
Yeah, we was talking about it on the pod as well.
I can't remember still.
Oh, damn, that's annoying.
But yeah,
that's my mind.
That was a big. Well, another thing, about the book, and this is common, innit? And I guess it's just you were talking about again, like let's say jail, or do you know what I mean, or just when you're talking about feds, talking about being arrested, talking about there was an ease in which you're just talking about these things. And I think you even allude to it in the book that because of past experience, because of your bridging, you just knew all these like legal terms, or you knew the process. And I feel like, you know, when you're a young black boy, sometimes I'm like, why do you know so much about like about the prison system?
100%, because at the end of the day, look, there's about a max capacity, let's say 90,000 people in prison at one time. So again, the fact that we're so knowledgeable, I mean, begs. But then also that's because we're overrepresented in the system. So we're much more likely to know someone.
We interact with
with a lot for different reasons. But yeah, even that point, I feel that's why for me, that's also what makes you more numb and less afraid.
Yeah.
Because
you know how it works, right? You think to yourself, you know, if I'm doing these things, then obviously if I do get caught, then at least like this
It'll
could
be light.
it'll be light.
Yeah.
I get half in that.
I remember one of my bridges, something happened, one of my bridges, him saying he's getting a duty solicitor. I'm all like, oh, fam, you getting a duty for that? But it's like, why do we know that a duty solicitor is bad? And by the way, we don't even know where to get a proper one from. So we don't know where we'd go and find a good solicitor, but we know that if you get a duty.
One time my brethren took a picture. And obviously the only way these pictures used to get around is that you had to do the Bluetooth and infrared and all that kind of stuff back in the day, yeah. Took a picture of like his older brother in court and like he was basically, everyone was saying that he's Gallagher and bin because the duty solicitor was wearing a brown suit. He's Gallagher and bin. Like, but that was our exposure to this stuff. You get to say it was almost like it was kind of normal sort of thing, innit? It's just so bad.
It's crazy still.
Far from normal.
Bro, but it's like I remember my parents might be watching something on the news and I had to be careful in it because you don't want to give yourself away too much. Like, why do you know certain things? But they'll say something. I'll be like, no, that's not what's gonna happen. Yeah. Or the first time you use certain words like, oh, they've charged him or he's been arrested. No, he's not charged yet. He's just arrested, kind of thing. And I remember my dad looking at me one time like, fam,
what do you know?
Why are you like? And you have to kind of tone it down and be like, all right, let me calm down because I don't want them to start digging in and be like, raw, like you know this, you do this. Even I remember I said it to you before that. At the time when the Elephant on Castle, and I was walking with my dad. You know, you got most of your brethren, they got home training. Do you know what I mean? But some don't.
Yeah.
So why are you shouting like my tag from across the road? Like when you can see I'm walking with an adult. Like, it's actually for me, that's such a crazy thing to do. Like, it's not even, I would never think of doing that.
That's wild.
You is shouting my tag. And so much so I was ignoring him, innit? And then my dad kind of thought, is he talking to you? Is he talking to you? And I was like, oh no, yeah, what are you saying? Or silent for a bit. And I was like, how do you know him? And I'm like, he just goes to my school. He didn't go to my school. Yeah. But I was like, he goes to my school. Because it's like, even the way he's moving on the road, you're shouting, you're making bare noise, you're bare flamboyant with it. Like, I'm thinking, fam, calm down. Do you get me? But it's very easy for those worlds to just collide, man. And it's tough still.
And you were saying about, like, obviously, so gone into the room, seen a big black bag. Obviously, you got like bare weed in there. So, cool, we're hustling now. Yeah, essentially. So, how did we're hustling now? You started making money, you're buying stuff that you like and all that kind of stuff. How did that graduate to you now eventually being charged for murder?
Yeah. Do you know, so in terms of that case, so I feel like the graduation is probably not even the way, but it's a case of, I feel like it's way more of a case of, look, end of the day, as I mentioned before, like, you've got different types of friendship groups. And so with this case, two of my close friends, they've been now arrested and charged for a murder that's taken place back in 2010, late 2010. And then another friend in January the next year, then April, another friend, and then May the 7th, 2011, I turned 18, having the time of my life. I mean, you can leave.
What did you do for your 18th birthday? 18th birthday?
You know what's so funny? Yeah. You know I knew about your 18th birthday?
Oh, I swear.
It's so funny, yeah?
That is...
I feel my 18th birthday because that couple of my brethren, they went in it.
Yeah.
But obviously, you were doing it with the triplet as well.
That's so funny because I was there as well.
I was
at the function, but like we were going to go to the function.
That's actually hilarious.
That's mad.
I didn't know.
That's hilarious.
So,
that's it.
I know the triplet.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was your birthday.
That is so it's funny. Because I was thinking about it. Because when I was heading the book, I said, I remembered, So back then,
remind me, I'll tell you a story about that at the end. So.
I remember the story you're going to say. I remember you telling me at the time.
That's funny. I didn't know that was your birthday.
You're talking about on your way there. You're talking about on your way there. Yeah. I remember.
What's the one? This one still.
That's an offline call. But yeah. So but even there, so with the trip, so it's funny because at the time when I said, look, man, let's just celebrate together, do it. They're like, but your friends. I was thinking that, chill, man. I was like, I'm having to give now the security that guarantee that look, nothing is gonna happen. That it's cool. And so for me, I just had the time of my life. I was thinking, boy, listen, anything, anything could happen. And literally 2 days after that day, I just found myself arrested and charged for murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, 2 charges of grievously bodily harm. possession of a firearm, possession of a knife. And so literally you go from thinking I'm going to be getting to uni to then actually you're going to Fulton prison.
When you heard like the charges, how did you feel?
I didn't even think it was real. You see, like when the officer was talking to my solicitor, you I overheard saying he's going to get charged. From that moment there, it's like, it was a outside experience.
Yeah, I feel you.
It didn't feel real. I'm like, damn, I'm actually getting charged.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah.
I was going to ask this question, You know, like, obviously you mentioned like your brethren were getting bags like basically leading up to your birthday, Was there any correlation between their ages and when they were getting bagged? So was it like everyone was turning 18 and then they were getting bagged?
So that, it's interesting. Like, sometimes I feel to myself, how much of that has a part to play. But then a lot of time it's just like, well, it is what it is at this stage. But for me, it's that whole thing of, this has happened now, and then now it's just all over the news. So remember, I go to college. I'm at Richmond at the time. I'm doing philosophy, politics, economics, and history.
That's why I talk about self-efficacy.
Yeah, self-efficacy. My initial UCAS application was for PPE.
Yeah,
that was my initial UCAS application. Still,
that's serious. So for me, it's that whole thing of like, because even like when I'm on the roads, I know this is not long term. And then also it's like now I'm in a case where I've just turned 18, and if I'm lucky, I'll be out when I'm in another 30 years, which is much longer than the life I've lived. So I'll be 48 if this case doesn't go my way. And also I'm here, like I've not killed nobody. So I'm now on this case. It's like, look, I'm like thinking, Lord, look, I've done many things. You could have got me charged, arrested for all those other things that I've done. What's this? What does this have to do with it? Like, that is a moment in my life I'm like, look, anything else that I've done, you could have just let me have got caught. Like, even if they told me then, look, just this other thing here that I know you've done 10 years, I'd have taken that.
You know that prayer? You know that prayer is like, God, listen, if you get me through this, never again. Never again.
And so for me, to be honest, I was probably more angry with God than anything. Because in my head, I'm like, listen, that I was trying to go to uni. I'll apply for unis in like Scotland, all these things. I know that, listen, this here, I know it's not sustainable. But then at the same time, now I'm finding myself in this situation. I should be doing my A-levels, and now I'm just spending 23 hours a day behind the door. And it's like, you could be spending the rest of your life here. Like, what people get at 18, even though I took 80-year-olds now, I'm like, you haven't even lived life.
So young.
Still so young. But then it's like, almost double that time you're going to spend in this place, in these four walls, where like you're in a cell. One of my cells, it's like you're like this, you just lean, you can touch the wall.
Yeah, it's mad.
And then now it's like no phone, no nothing, just you, one TV, small like this. And this is just your reality, bro. And bare plastic cups and one wooden chair.
What was the first night like?
I just like, can't even sleep. Because you're just there thinking, you know,
I don't know what time it is.
No concept of time as well.
No concept of time thing.
So that's just crazy. And then also, at the same time, they've asked me like, do you want a smokers pack or non-smokers pack? My first.
I take out a smoker just to pass the time. Just that shit there. Man.
So this time I'm thinking, I don't smoke. Because that's another thing as well. Like, so like growing up, even though my brethren was like, enough of them smoke weed, do ever. Like, I went on that. So I'm like, no smokers pack. Thinking, oh, cool, this is what they do every day. I'm not realizing this pack that you're getting is the one and only pack. You need to hold on to this pack until you can then order food on canteen. So I'm just run through the pack thinking that, oh yeah, you get another reload. There's no reload. So. Crazy. That's it. So yeah, no concept of time. So you're just there thinking, flip, man. What's gonna happen? If this is jail as well, remember that whole time they've not even let me, because I'm still on induction wing. They still induct you into the jail. So you haven't spent any time at your cell. And I stayed on that wing for God knows, maybe like 72 hours or whatever. Then I got put onto a wing where I actually met other people. See someone that I know from my ends. And then, you know how jail is, but you just go to jail. And then and that's even someone who we're not even best of mates. But because we're both in a situation, we're gonna be cool. And this is someone who, like, beforehand, we definitely don't see eye to eye. But here, we're both from ends, it's all cool. I mean, so again, that's a funny thing where when you're in these situations, how you can have that sense of unity.
Yeah,
And yeah, bro. Joe's crazy, man. I think, and it's just because spending all that time in one small room, nothing. Yeah, man. Joe's mental strength. Mental strength.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say about that, is because like obviously you speak about like clarity in it, or clarity of mind, basically in it, and obviously like Joe's like a funny place to get that. But I do hear people when they've been there and they've been there for a while. That's one of the things it does because you get a lot of time to think in it. With your story though, one thing that you did that was quite unique here was obviously when you was in Feltham. You actually, because you was 18 at the time, you actually managed to finish your A-levels in jail. And obviously, I've heard that that's never been done before in Feltham. How was that? How did you even fight for that?
You know, so I had one psychologist that, you know, when you're new to the jail, the guest psychologist come and ask you questions. How happy are you from a scale of 1 to 10? It's like
0.
How happy do you expect me to be?
You know, like, but again, all of this is really what when you get older, like, just all to see like how likely are you to self harm. That's what they really want to know. But for me, I'm thinking these questions are dumb. Like, you think I'm going to get ecstatic here? Joyful. But then I'm just like, look, if you actually want to do anything for me, one of the things you could help me do is to help me to do my A-levels because I'm literally near the finish line. And she's like, yeah, I'll think about it. I think about it, she'll try and do something. So I'm like, cool. Then when I go to the library for the first time, you can go library every 2 weeks or something like that, once every 2 weeks. So I'm like, talk to the librarian. I'm like, listen, can you help me? I want to do my A-levels. She's like, yeah. She said that someone already mentioned it to her already. So talking about the psychology, I thought, she actually passed on the message to try and do something. And then before you know it, then someone contacted me from education and was like, yeah, I'll see if I can help you do this. I thought, this is brilliant. But then my college actually rejected at first to say, yeah, you could do. But again, back to this, probably seen all the stuff in the news. What it is. But then she just really fought for me to do it. So then, they ended up allowing me to do my A-level. She met my mum outside the prison to like collect like revision notes and stuff like that herself. And then I just started revising her. But she went over and beyond. Like to the point where like...
Favour still.
Yeah, favour. She even let me... like call my mum to tell my mum, oh, this is where I've left my stuff. All this stuff going well over and beyond. Just to make sure that this could happen. And bro, she was like an angel, boy, for me at the time. And so I just did them A-levels, boy. I just thought, look, usually at the time, that's when you get guidance on maybe focus on this, focus. I had none of that. So I'm just reading everything. The stuff that I like or that I'm smart on. It comes up. But yeah, that was... I just had to do that, man. And for me, doing that was like a sign that I can't be doing this for no reason.
Like a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, a glimmer of hope. Because my legal team are thinking, bro, you know this case is, this is your life. That talking about you want to do exams. They're not even here to, they're even trying to hear all of them. Like, you actually know what's going on here.
But this is what I'm saying though, because, and this is what I'm saying, bro.
This boy, man.
But this is what I'm saying, bro, because like, and I thought you got to acknowledge this, bro, because even your mentality in these scenarios, in these circumstances, bro, I know so many different people have been in the same circumstance. And completing exams has never... Same way they're saying, fam, like, do you know what you're here for? That you're thinking about exams. Like, the exam thing has never crossed their mind, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that's why you've got like a relatively unique experience to bear people that have been in similar circumstances. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Where you've actually finished it. So my thing is like, how did you even think to be like, oh, do you know what? Like, why was I want to finish why was that a thing for you? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, because, you know, I didn't want the case to be over... And then I got to do another year of college. I'm like, listen, this needs to be done.
Okay. So from early, you thought, cool, man's busting this.
Yeah, because I'm thinking to myself, of course, you know that, yes, there can be miscarriages of justice. But I'm like, listen, if this goes where I'm hoping for it to go,
then my life still needs to go.
Then my life still needs to, so I need to be doing stuff. If not, that's going to be a whole nother year of college. And remember, I'm already feeling behind now because by the time this whole thing is going on, people already started their first year. And this is the last year of uni when it's £3,000. So once I go next year, I'm paying 9 bags.
It's crazy.
So now I'm already thinking.
Now they pay like 82k, bro. They're paying the rollie every single time, bro.
So for me, it's like I just need to just And, do you know, and it's so crazy when I look back. I don't know why I felt so, but I'm just like I need to do this.
But do you know what it is? I think that's a sick lesson for a lot of people here, because I know we talk about this a lot of the time. Like, what are you doing in that period of time when you're waiting? Do you get what I'm trying to say? And here, like, we always talk about preparing yourself for wherever God's going to take you to. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I feel like maybe you didn't even know where God was going to take you, but you knew that. Listen, one thing is for sure. I need to pass these exams to get to wherever I'm going to be anyway. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I think that's a very good lesson for a lot of people listening in terms of like, actually, do you know what? I'm praying to God and I want to get out of a certain situation, or I want to do this, or I want to change career, or this is that and other. But what are you doing in this period of time when you are waiting for that opportunity, that breakthrough, that answer, whatever it is? Like, are you preparing yourself? Are you doing training courses now? Are you? Do you know what I mean? How are you developing yourself in terms of like where you want to be or where you see yourself? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Especially in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because those are the easy situations to be like,
just pamper yourself.
I'm not gonna like, you get me, self-care. Where's my camera? Hey, I'm not saying no one should take care of themselves. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it's easier to fall into the whole like, this is uncomfortable now. Let me just like take care. Let me sit down. As opposed to like, no, like what can I do? What can I do to push through that mentality? So
and that's really it. Yeah, you just have to. Like for me, that was the plan. Is like a lot of times like the plan's not changed just because this has now happened. And that was it for me. It's like my whole plan was that summer I'm finishing college. So I need to finish college. Okay, I might start uni later because clearly I'm gonna like I'm in jail. But I'm like, listen, man, this needs to be done. And so just because I haven't seen anyone else do it, didn't make me think this ain't gonna happen for me.
Key, man.
Like, that's just the reality of So, and that's when I even see other because I spend a lot of time in jail now, beating other men and just visit regularly. Just have to remind them, like you just mentioned, listen, this time here, regardless of what you think of it, it's gonna pass. And when it passes, and eventually you do come out, because 99% of people in prison will come out one day. Like, what have you done with the time? You could have got degrees, you could have got your PhD. There's so much stuff that you can really do. If Anna's like just educate yourself. Like, bro, you're here. Tell something, man, why are you not learning languages? Learn languages, come out, be bilingual, be able to speak 4 languages. You've got the time, you've got other men that can speak other languages, let them teach you. Because at the end of the day, I know it's hard when people feel like there's so much years to go. But it's also understanding, like, when it comes to time, it's also about making the most of what you're in. And by doing that as well, it was the best use of time for me until obviously trial. And trial's a whole nother.
Quick question: Is bilingual the right term for speaking 4 languages?
No, multilingual.
Because there's bilingual.
The bilinguals 2.
2. Then trilingual 3. Then
there's actually trilingual.
I think there is.
I mean, that's logically that makes sense.
I think there is. It's
actually the.
Hey, let me double check. Let me double check to see that.
Trilinguals, that one's new.
That's new to me as well. Still,
I hold on to it.
But you could be right though.
You both googling it. You say you have to verify.
Trilingual. That's it. Trilingual, speaking 3 languages fluently.
I mean, logically, it makes sense. So.
Yeah, that's a new one still, see?
Thanks everyone.
Enough word of the
day. But yeah, that's, I don't want to fast forward, but listen, if you don't want details, read the book.
Exactly.
You want to read the book, do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't want to think. But let's fast forward a bit. So, trial came, you bust case. Yeah. How was that feeling?
That feeling.
Trial came, bust case. Nah, let's at least just go to the trial, because I think even in terms of just that process. No. We can fast forward, but cool. So we're not going to talk about how it was.
Very high level. Let's go.
Very high level. But just like, even in terms of like, because bro, I don't know how many men have been there in terms of being in court and all that kind of stuff and waiting for your fate. I think that's like one of the.
It's one of the biggest.
Bro, I don't think there's another situation in life where it's like
somebody has your fate.
Bro, like, as in. Do you get what I'm trying to say, bro? Like, your heart can drop, bro, people can faint when they hear like what's going on. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, how was that?
I do not. Trial was, for me, that's when I felt like prison really started. Because now this is it, right? This is, whatever happens, it feels like your fate is in the hands of 12 people that don't know you from anywhere. But again, this is why I feel like faith was also very important in the trial, because for me, it was more like about not trusting in, like, horses and chariots and people. And like those kind of verses really were just running through my mind constantly. Like, look, there's 12 people here. But again, with trial, the reason why it was crazy, because you wake up every day, let's say 4 a.m. You got to get ready, get processed. And remember, you also get strip search every time you leave, every time you come back. So that's another part of it.
Yeah.
That you're going through. And then every day you're going on this bus to the Old Bailey, where you know that this is where people get lifed off crazy number of sentences. So going through that day in, day out. I remember some days you get back, it's too late, you can't even shower. So certain days in the morning when you wake up, you're having to put your towels on the ground and then wash from your sink. Soap, that's it. Just in your cell. It's cold, breezy. You still gotta you still gotta just clean yourself. So again, it's like going through that and then thinking, and even when you got the faith, you're thinking, damn, like, Lord, this is tough. This is really it. And so doing that for 4 weeks, 8-week trial, but I did it for 4 weeks because I was acquitted halfway. But even like halfway through the trial, my legal team applied for like a case to no answer, essentially. And I remember getting back to the prison. So it just means that the prosecution haven't got anything on you, really. So again, the evidence, particularly in my case, was circumstantial. I was literally there because they believed that the cell sites and phone calls was the reason. So there was no concrete evidence. It wasn't like that your blood was there, CCTV saw you, all these witnesses that are reliable. It's literally just to do with phones. So again, it's about no case to answer. Like, are you gonna give this person 30 years based on phone calls with people that he talks to every day? But again, obviously, as the prosecution, all they care about is that at this time, I feel you were talking to these other suspects, so therefore must have been there. So that's why we applied for it. And then, but I remember getting back that day, calling my mum, saying, "Mum, pray for me." Something tells me I'm going to be like coming home tomorrow. So I remember the next morning, I woke up. Something just told my spirit, look, just pack up all your stuff. Packed up all my stuff, wrote a note to give away stuff, packed it all up. Then I remember seeing one guy that morning I was going cool. He's like, "Are you packing your stuff? Is that you waiting for a verdict?" I'm halfway in the trial. I was thinking, just shut up, man.
Do you know, that's nothing, because one of my brothers, like more recently as well, when he was going through it and all that kind of stuff, he was like, even when he was going for a verdict, he wouldn't pack because he couldn't do that to himself.
Nah, bro, because of packed. So I cleared the whole thing, wrote a note. So now I've gone through. I remember the day before, my other brothers have also said, the ones that their teams have applied for halfway submission, they said they're gonna pack. But I only saw myself with bags. It's just me that day I packed. But so they must also say, look, when you're with your friends in the holding cell in the Old Bailey, make sure you pray with them. All the time, like I'm in the holding cell, but we just do our individual prayers. Prayers. So I thought to myself, so I just keep. Then I'm now with them in the room. Nothing's stopping me. Just all here. What's there to do? Just there. But then I'm still thinking that, feeling my spirit to say, look, pray with these guys. I'm just like, let me just pray. So I prayed with them now. Then the court usher comes down to say, look, the judge wants to see you lot. So now this is the moment. And then as soon as we're getting up the stairs, then he's like, actually, the judge said he needs more time. Now you lot, remember, this is literally just after we finished praying a minute before. But I felt that I need to pray with these lot from all, on the way to the job. So until we wash it with them, so I'm all thinking this is strange. We've never been called upstairs. Remember, we go on trial every day for 4 weeks. When the judge calls you up, you go up, and he's always ready. What does he need more time? So then we've gone back down, we're thinking, right, what's happened? So then I'm just thinking, right, maybe this prayer, or I don't know. So then eventually we go back up, and then it gets to my other two friends who applied, they denied them. It gets to myself, I'm thinking, this is the moment, boy. And then he's just like, I've got the directs the jury to acquit me of all charges, literally in that moment. And the reason why I shared that, and I thought it was important, I couldn't keep it high levels, because that was my first time where I truly exercised that faith and felt the Holy Spirit telling me, look, do this stuff in faith. Because again, you see, to the logical person, you should not pack. What are you packing for? To the logical person, it's like, why are you praying? I've never prayed with them together in my life. Me to tell people, come, that's not, that was never me. But all those things that I thought the Lord telling me, look, do these things. Obedience. And then when the time came, I was like, but again, even being released, it was the most bittersweet feeling of my entire life. Because though this nightmare has ended for you, it still continues for other people. So I never I felt the joy of the freedom, but also the bittersweetness that this isn't the same for everyone else. And so you don't even get to really there's no was going to do fresh home party.
Enjoy,
It was actually like, damn, for the next 4 weeks, these are also going to be going on trial. And long story short, one of my friends, he got convicted of all charges. One got hung jury, then had a retrial a couple months later. Then he got found guilty. So one on the first trial, 30 years, the other friend, 26 years on the other trial. So again, time's gone by and it's like, it's been, almost over 14 years now?
Crazy.
So since this moment. And so, yeah, bro, that's the reality, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Up until that point, did you feel like you had, what was your relationship with God like up until that point?
So I would say in jail is interesting. That's when I feel like I really just thought to myself, if this Christ is real, I'm just gonna press in that, as you mentioned. But then also, I never forget one time being in church, and this is the one time where I felt like, bro, I didn't actually shed a chair check. I was thinking, the pastor's just talking about, whatever happens, even with your case, whether you get good or not, always remember, like, God is still God. Yeah. You're still gonna have to serve him regardless. And that's when it really dawned on me, like, this thing here you're talking about is irrespective of the circumstance. But because I knew how much I wanted to go home, Lord,
I hear it.
I'm going
bro, hearing that message at that time, my heart would have sank a little bit.
But you know what's so mad? I feel like that's such a real thing for the pastor to say to you.
Yeah.
Because in that time, more time you're trying to give people comfort and it's like the primary message what he's telling you is that, hey, God is still God, regardless.
And that's always stuck with me because a lot of times the messages were always hopeful and encouraging. So when he said, I remember just sitting there with my other co-defendants at the time. I'm just like, I can see everyone's face. Everyone heard that message because I'm thinking like, God, you know how much I don't want to. But actually, the truth is, regardless, whatever happens, it's like, I still got to give you the glory and the praise. And bro, that's the
reality.
That's the reality, man. Bro, it's great, bro. I feel like clapping. You get me? Honestly, it's actually for different parts of it.
Are you going to turn this into a full feature film?
Bro, honestly.
Hopefully eventually, but it's that, and I feel I learned so much about, for me, my faith foundation through that experience because, again, as you mentioned, I had the time. I also, at the same time, I'm just trying to just understand more about this God. And just being childlike again. Of course, I grew up in church. I know, people always like to say, like, I know the stories. But to actually know the person. And so, like, in prison, I got to really know this person of Christ and start to pray, learn how to pray for myself. And I genuinely took it serious. And even when I was praying there, I used to be like, Lord, if this doesn't break me, then this needs to make me. And always praying that, look, I have to be remembered for something more than this. So a lot of what I see like today is I see it as a manifestation of a lot of those prayers. And I was there thinking, look, I don't know how this is going to work out, what's going to happen, but I need to be remembered for much more than this. Because if not, the podcast will end here.
Bro, and you know that's what I'm saying, bro. There's like
there's so much more to get into,
and that's why I wanted to. Bro, there's like 2 million things to get into, bro. Because, fam, it's not a genius. You got a man's Instagram.
So it's like 18. Wait, it's like 18 years and 2 days. Get bagged, go to prison. 6 months later, you're out. Yeah. Age 19, you publish your first report.
Yeah, in the House of Commons.
Bro, that's crazy. Let's be real.
And by the way,
not normal still.
Like I said, if you go on man's Instagram, what you see, you don't only see Kenny, but you see Doctor.
Yeah, come on.
You see Doctor. You go further down the line.
All the
initials. What do you see? The MBE. Bro.
That's a mad thing.
I don't even know that.
Yeah, there's a lot to get to.
Bro,
but there's a lot in between.
There's a lot in between. A lot in between, but so let's go through the report first,
You've done a few, like 3.
Yeah, so I did 3, and that's also, so I did those 3 Kenny reports. Again, just making the most of like time that I had. And also a lot of times, like, I feel like God just gives you, that's one thing I used to pray about in jail as well. I used to be like, Lord, just give me creativity. Let me just have ideas that are unique. And the reports is unique because young people don't write reports. They're trying to do other creative stuff. So I always told me like, look, the pen's mightier than the sword. Just be writing.
And the maddest thing is, because at the time I was doing economics, innit? So in terms of talking about, and trust me, like when I was in the lesson, at times I would think this, but I would just never ask the question because it's just like, I knew, learn what they've got in the curriculum and that's how you pass the exam, innit? So I'm not asking all these extra curricular questions. So when they talk about how like macroeconomics and how it impacts like society, consumer spending and all that kind of stuff. It's all very like theory based and all that kind of stuff. But your report was more about like, listen, how all of these like political and economic decisions are impacting people from where I'm from. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Which is obviously quite groundbreaking at the time, innit? Because I don't think there's been another report published like that in the House of Commons.
Yeah, 100, and that's what made it stand out, bro. Because what I realized was that a lot of times when it comes to people seeing how does this stuff look like in practice, all that happens, they give you a half a page case study, 1 page case study. Like, oh yeah, here's this young man, Brian, and you just show you a bit about his life in 1 page. I'm saying, look, now I'm going to show you 25 pages of what it really looks like. So then you can see for yourself how these policies are creating the environment and also in a way limiting the choices that this person has. And actually, if you don't change your policies and your way of thinking, then these are the type of outcomes. And so again, a lot of that was more to do with just understanding. People just needed more depth. It's hard to understand something when you keep reducing people's realities to half a page. Page. So I just say, look, 25 pages. And again, what people forget, I'm just trying the thing. So it's not some people are like, how did you make? I'm just trying it.
Bro, I feel you.
Like, all the time, there's not anything like, I sat there mad strategic. A lot of times it's just in the obedience of, look, I've got this idea, I'm going to execute. And then once I'd done that first report, then it was like, I met more people, then people will fund me to do my second. Then I got other people involved. Then it's like, now you're on the news. Now people want to hear what you've got to say. But again, it's like what people forget. It's like they're just excited about, they just want to be on the news. And commentating. So then it becomes like, oh, clout. But actually, are you willing to do the work that it takes? And that's the problem, son. We've got it the wrong way around. We just want to be seen to be doing things, but not actually doing things.
And that's a point that you raise a lot in terms of just trying the thing, because you know, like a lot of the time, I feel like people see people in a successful era of or part of their life, and they think, ah, cool, so I'm going to do this and I'm going to get that result. But a lot of the time, it's not that. A lot of the time when people are trying things, they don't know what the result's going to be.
No, none at all. So when people are like, damn, how did you... And so I don't know. I just
trying it. I was thinking chess moves, but it was God's grace.
Literally. And that's it. And that's why for me, I'm just always big on just making sure that when you have these ideas, just do your best to execute them. Get people around you, getting feedback. And even like what I do now in terms of in the research industry, all of that was born out of pure, just doing the reports, but curiosity. I was just curious. I didn't like the way like you see certain stats, people throw it out there, but then I'm like, that don't really make sense. Because I can come and tell you like, oh yeah, unemployment's going down and it's going down by 50%. But then actually for young black men, it's actually increasing by a third. But if I just throw the first stat, you then start looking at now you're not getting jobs. You're not understanding actually underneath that, if you have a closer look, you see it's actually increasing for certain groups. And for me, that's the beauty of why I love research. Marketing, different stuff.
Bro, talk us through that. Talk us through that. So obviously, Clearview, what is that?
So...
So how long you got?
But long story short, a key part of our business is working with brands, governments, public institutions. So again, we work with everyone from like NHS, done projects for like Starbucks, Uber, Tinder, Macmillan, UNICEF.
Try to skate over the Tinder, what are you saying? It's a Christian podcast. It's not as well, by the way.
No, but jokes aside, but even like our key thing is mainly to help them to understand audiences that are underrepresented. So again, underrepresented is also about in their context. Sometimes that is people from Black and Asian ethnic minority groups. Sometimes that's people living with disabilities. Sometimes that might be young white men from Yorkshire. Just really depends on the nature of the client. But some of the best projects I've enjoyed, I would say, like we did a big project looking at Black people and human rights. So again, we did that. We were commissioned by the parliamentary, by Parliament, by a group that focuses on human rights. And we just basically had to look at how do Black people feel their human rights are protected in relation to when it comes to the police, the NHS, compared to white people. But this is the first study of its like in the UK. A lot of time when we talk about the Black human rights experience, it can be very Americanized. And so again, that was brilliant because, and doing that study again, that's what got us the most exposure also as an agency. Because we did that piece of work and that was just everywhere. So again, I felt very blessed to do that. And then we do stuff around like, how do we get more people from non-white backgrounds skiing? So again, you look at skiing. I know now you're seeing more of it. By the time we were doing this, let's say 4 years ago. No one really see people. So, but we do these projects with big scale operators because for them, they understand our business model needs to. We need way more diversity. You need to understand why people are not skiing. So again, stuff like that. To them, projects on why are people more likely or less likely to get the vaccine, like COVID-19 vaccine, stuff like that. So it's interesting.
When you're conducting your research, is it sort of first hand? So is it? So you're speaking to all these people?
Yeah, so you speak to these people, but also look at other people's research.
But
a big part for us is actually engaging and speaking to the people. So
and for someone that's got the same sort of, let's say, interest in terms of research, what's your tip in terms of how to get involved in that industry?
In the industry, well, outside of finding a job in the industry, I guess if they want to do it depends. If they want to really be in the industry, then they should try and work for either a small agency or a big agency, which is key. But then if not, at the same time, just do their own projects as well. So remember, in terms of how Clearview was built, to be clear, our first project come from a client that wanted to hire me. So when I was at the last year of uni, this person was the CEO, was like, I would like to hire you to come and do this job. And I was like, do you know what? I'll do the job, but through my own company. At the time I was thinking, damn, someone's going to pay me 5 figures to do this job. I thought, this is brilliant. And bro, I never turned back. But again, she recognized me because of all the reports I did beforehand. And so she knew that this person can actually do this job. And that job, I learned a lot from it, but they made me work for that money. But again, you just got to do these things. And over time, things will build and you'll get better at it and better at it. And the key thing for me also, like in business, is you got to watch your results, but also be very mindful of never to be a martyr for the business.
And I feel you.
Like if it's really not working, just
know when to
know when to call it a day. Like if this is actually not looking after you, you got to know when to. Like, I'm be honest with you, and that's like one of the things which, even if I show you lot now, this is. I got to show my brother one time when he wanted to start his. You know how iPhone is doing all this thing now, it's jarring.
What photos?
Yeah.
No, that thing is.
You can search though. I think they search.
You can search. Yeah, but you can search before though.
Yeah, you could. I know. Yeah, what they done
just
now. The album thing is
just
mad.
before they done the thing, you could search and even pictures, which showed you. It was good, but
so it's like I have this. Let's see if I've got this.
But even telling them to pay you through your company rather than.
Yeah, so I remember I showed it to my brother years ago, but you see the top number. So just before I even give that, now this is a company where, let's say in the last couple of years we've made several million, done whatever. So again, it's a 7-figure business. But you see that number at the top. I tell people, if you can't stomach and live with that, and you look at the number eventually, I'm like, there's no point doing it. That's what the account was like at one time.
Okay.
Massive.
Because it's like, to me, I want to do business, I want to do this. I'm like, okay, that's it. So you see the number there is £4.96.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So you want to do business? I'm like, okay. When it gets to the wire like that, are you still gonna have? Are you still gonna have that same energy? And also, like on that same day, if you look at the next day, then I got this. Check that, because what people forget, see, business, it's taught me way more about faith than any other part of my life. Because I genuinely know that, look, God is always providing.
Like, it's funny because anytime you speak to someone that's like freelancing, working for themselves, or like, again, starting businesses and that, it requires you to hustle in a different way. And again, it goes back to that whole thing of like, we've spoken about in different contexts. We were talking about families and that. We were talking about like your children have the parents, your wife has you. And then you, the buck stops with you. Do you get what I'm saying? It's almost like that in business as well. Obviously, you've got God to fall back on. But then that's when you have to fall back on God, if you get what I'm trying to say. So, yes, I think that's a very good point and another thing that people...
This is a big one because everyone loves to say, I want to be a...
Like, listen,
that's it. And also, when you're trying to do this stuff, also there with a family, like you said, and doing whatever, and sometimes there's ups and downs. Last year, for us, tough in many ways. So again, you have to tell my wife, listen, let's see, this is how things are. So there's some spending we might have to start. Because this is the reality where some people never have to have that conversation. Because as far as they're concerned, I mean, unless I get made redundant, I still got my job. I can actually see that this is tight from how far. And unless something miraculous comes our way, then this is the thing, man. I've been doing this for so long. I see God providing time again. So when people are like, the strategy, I'm like, listen, it's me and God. So even some of my team I say they were, I said, listen, I know you got faith in me, but you need to have faith that my faith is in God. And I said, the thing about what you need to understand on this journey is that a lot of times you just got to just focus on the day. A lot of times, don't know that this whole thing about like worrying. So I told her like, you're sitting there worrying, just focus. Cause I said, you never know what's going to happen. So I got another email I showed on that same day, hours later, another opportunity. I can't forecast that opportunity. But I showed her the thing and I said, look, this is what I'm trying to show you that this is why I have the faith because you just never know. But I just trust if I'm meant to be doing this, God's going to provide. If not, then bro, I'll just do something else.
That's something me and my missus been speaking about more recently still, about being still. I know that he's God sort of thing and how that means kind of relinquishing control and exactly what you're saying in terms of taking each day one at a time sort of thing and actually in that day practicing being obedient in the small things. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Fam, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I feel like,
speak still.
bro, need to go home, yeah. Look myself in the room now, yeah. Just fam, I just want to go. I feel like I used to hold in on that.
Start writing their things on the wall like that. You know them films, yeah? When they got
that film, the computer genius, when they're cracking the code on the computer and they're typing very fast. Bro, that's what I need to do when I get home, man. But honestly, bro,
it's been great.
This one has been
great.
Serious, bro. Eat it.
And there's still so much more to really dig deeper into. But I feel like first thing people need to do is read your book, bro.
Get the book.
I feel like to get even like the real nitty gritty and the gist of what we've been talking about today, I feel like there's so much more that they'll actually realize that you actually went through. You get what I'm trying to say? That adds more to this whole testimony.
We ain't scratched the surface still. The book, bro. Even, bro, there's so many, but let me not say, read the book, bro. There's bare points of the book that I was like, listen, there's bare points I wanted to ask, but obviously we ran out of time, but it's crazy. But lastly, actually, before we go into the MBE, how did that come about?
I just got a letter randomly.
Divine email.
Divine email.
The letter just came to my house and the email too. And then I was like, well, this is... But to be honest, even when it like came, it's more than thinking about, okay, cool, do I take this, do I not? Because obviously I have enough thoughts around it. And I thought to myself, you know what? Less about what it's going to do for me, but more in terms of what can I do for other people? You see, like, and I'll say, like, I've been able to be blessed with seeing other influential people and seeing how they use that influence for good. And so I know already, those letters in general, it's not like it now, my life has financially changed because of it. But actually, for when you're communicating and defending and advocating for people, it goes a long way. And the people that I'm advocating for in prisons and trying to help them, it goes a long way. The time people see those letters, it means a lot to them.
And bro, even on that, like in terms of like my brother's keeper, like because what you're doing there is crazy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like in terms of like, and I've seen you speak about it before actually, and like I don't want to close without raising this point because I think it's a very good point when we talk about like grace and generosity. But like, do you want to speak a little bit about like my brother's keeper and what you're doing there?
Yeah, so with my brother's keeper, so I started it with Lord Hastings. So we started about 8 years ago. And a big part of it was more just making sure we're regularly visiting men in prison. What a lot of people don't understand is that in certain jails, only 1 in 5 people are getting a regular visit. So again, and for me, I say it's biblical, right? I was in prison and you came to visit me. And so actually, I feel all of us have that call to, make these people feel seen. Because prison is one of those places where you're just over there and you feel like everyone's forgotten about you. So again, we just committed, look, we're going to visit these prisons. And the first prison we started in, we're like, look, every 2 months, was going to keep going back to this jail. And that's what we kept doing. And then before you know it, we're now in like over 12 prisons. We've got a group of men that also support us. We do football matches, all sorts. But a big part of it is just making sure those men have and know there's a support system for them. So a lot of them who, even when they leave jail or they end up going on like DCAT, where essentially they can spend some time at the prison. They know they can spend time with us. Because a big part of it, even for me, has been about seeing life, just have to learn how to journey with people. And even like this whole thing around the grace and the generosity is also appreciating. Look, many of us could have easily found ourselves in that situation of being in prison one way or another.
It's a fine line.
There's a fine line. I always tell people, like, good examples this. There'll be a lot of people even listening to this pod and they think, damn, like, you committed this crime. But I'm like, listen, how many of you on a 20-mile-hour road are driving 30, 40? Now, all it takes is someone to run out, and now you're in jail for death by driving. That's it. But this is something that you do every day. You think it's not a thing, but then one day, God forbid, and that's it. So And so again, it's also understanding that you actually going above 20 is a criminal offense.
Yeah.
But you do it every day. You feel no one's seeing. You think it's nothing. So for me, it's just really about giving those men grace, but also reminding them. I feel particularly as believers, it's not that we go around throwing the Bible, but the key things by showing them love and actually focusing on not their past but their future. Like, so a lot of times I'm engaging with enough men in prison. I don't even ask them, "How did you get here? What did you do?" I'm more focused on like, who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? So when I then hear these men sharing testimonies like, about coming to Christ, even one guy I've been journeying for years now, telling me about fasting a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, I met this guy who's not been about fasting. Those words will never.
You said there was a quote in the book that I took to bed that never been a prisoner. Like, your past is a lesson, not a sentence. Do you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
You can't be a prisoner to it. It's just it's happened, and it's very in line with the Christian thought. Like, fam, your past, you're forgiven. You get me? We look forward, and how do we journey on that grace? Do you know what I mean?
And it's just taught me a lot as someone who can also be very black and white, to also learn to have color. And that's the duality of something. Like, you see, when you're very like black and white, also understanding that life, there's also a lot of color. And also making sure that grace that has been. That's why I feel like grace with me is easy. I genuinely know that I don't deserve to be where I am by the very nature of my decisions, the things that I've done in life, and I mean, tons of other things. However, God has had enough grace and mercy on me, and therefore I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in. And when I truly know that to myself and I've felt that and experienced that, it's so easy for me to give that to someone else.
Facts.
Because, and I think a lot of times it's hard as believers to give someone anything you've truly not received. People understand the concept of things in the Bible, they understand the theory, but until you genuinely had to live with it and you felt it, it's very hard to do, because people can be judgmental. It's that whole thing of we can be, great lawyers of our own mistakes and great judges of others. But when it comes to us, we've got the whole defense case there. But other people were like,
definitely
guilty.
And so that's it. So that's why my brothers keep things very special. And again, that's one of the things that does keep me humble. So when you go in them environments, you see that, you're like, what could you complain about? Sometimes I'm thinking, Lord, this, that. Then I'm talking to a man that has no release date. Who is still happy. So grateful to see me. And it minimizes whatever I'm going through so much, because you're like, do you know what, Lord? But I'm glad that I got to wake up on my bed, not a prison bed, not a hospital bed. And for that, I give you glory.
Word.
Word.
You see what I'm saying? It just keeps on unfolding, bro. There's so much to go through, bro. But honestly, bro, we gotta get you back on for sure.
Bro, we have to.
Honestly,
this one was amazing.
I feel like, fam, I feel like your journey is a big testimony for a lot of people. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I feel like we definitely want to dig into a bit more about how you think. Because, like I said, even the fact that you said, pay me for my company rather than me coming to work for you. Again, it's like, why? Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not the standard way of thinking. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Especially in third year of uni.
Coming out of uni, fam, I want the security, bro. I want the job. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But yeah, so we'll get into that at another time. But bro, thank you so much for coming.
Bro, honestly, I think, bro, what you're doing, inspirational, bro. Do you get me? In terms of people watching, I'm sure that people who are trying to get into it, even people who are not trying to get into research, who are just trying to do well. Do you know what I mean? Bro, the inspiration, bro. So keep getting.
Honestly.
Do you get me? And we're gonna have you back on. But you lot, listen, that Peckham Boy. Do you get me? Get the book, man. It's honestly a great.
Some copies for us here.
Honestly, bro, appreciate it.
Even though the man has it, but
one of the copies is mine. It's good to have a physical. Do you get me? But yeah, man, go on Audible. Where's the best place to get? Is it just
Amazon? I got mine from Waterstones.
That's it. All good bookshops, man.
All the reputable bookshops.
Come on, man.
Yeah. So go and cop that, man. But bro, for coming, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man.